tasting, what we do is take a small amount right off the top. It doesn't take much. That's the warmest part right here. I'm going to invert the spoon. Cover all 9,000 taste bud. Aerate it. Warm it up. Driving up that top note, that cream, pure vanilla, sweeteners. That's a 10.
In the middle of the night or early Friday morning, depending upon where you are in the world, a group of experienced comics professionals get together to examine and instruct about the art form that they love. That's great comic artwork on Comics by Night, Fridays at 5 a.m. Eastern, here on the Indie Comics Network, indiecomicsnetwork.com.
What was that? This is not a charade.
Welcome to Nerd Bacon, where the panel is always chilling and the tea is always spilling. Happy Thursday morning. It's good to see you guys here. How is everyone doing this fine morning?
We're alive.
Have you guys seen this thing where women ask their men how often they think about the Roman Empire?
Yeah.
How often do you think about the Roman Empire?
All the time.
Do you really?
Yeah.
When my wife first asked me that, I was like, I never think about the Roman Empire. What are you talking about? And then I walked away and I started thinking about it. I was like, dang it, I think about the Roman Empire a lot. Yeah, like I'm constantly thinking about the Roman Empire.
there's parallels between the fall of the Roman Empire and our current situation, I would say.
Bread
or
and
current-
circuses. Yeah.
Yep. And it's very, very easy to fall into the trap of being like, oh, well, this is, oh, okay, yeah, and you just start thinking about it.
One thing I didn't realize is, why train tracks are the width that they are. It's the fault of the Roman Empire.
Really? Why do
Yeah.
you say that?
Because the width of the train, the width of the wheels are the same wheels as a wagon wheel. And they used to have to make the wagon wheels a certain, back during the Roman era, chariots and
Builder of
wagons and that
roads.
had to be the same width because their roads were really too large ruts
Government regulation.
in the ground. No, there were too large ruts in the ground. And if you made them a different size, your wagon would slip and you'd risk wasting a wheel or an axle, blowing an axle.
Well, who made the
So-
road?
So
Roman.
they've always been the exact same width, and it's the same width as the train tracks
Wagon.
are now. But the reason the wagon ruts in the roads from the Romans are that size, are the same size of the width of the train tracks, is because that's the exact size for two large horses to pull a wagon with. That's the ideal axle width for a wagon pulled by two incredibly large horses.
Each axle, like the wheel, would be right directly behind the horse.
Yeah. So literally our train tracks are measured by the size of two horses' asses. And that dates back to the Roman Empire.
It's all goes back to the Romans.
It all
the
goes back to
Romans.
them. Yep.
Goes
Crazy.
back to Rome and all that crazy crap that they did back then.
And the other thing is
how
how
often I was thinking about Rome every day.
how screwed up our calendar is, thanks to the Roman Empire.
Yeah, there's a lot of weirdness there. But,
It's
Randy?
October, November, December is supposed to be the 10th month, and it's actually the 12th. But Julius and Augustus wanted to have a month. They declared a month for themselves, and they put them right in the center where everybody's out and enjoying
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the warmest months.
The warmest
best,
months.
yeah.
The most productive months. So
The
anyway,
longest
the end.
days.
it's all their fault.
Towards the end of I think of the Roman Empire too, they were paying off their enemies as well, and U.S. is basically doing that right now.
Guys, before we get into our day, let's go see where the chat's at. This morning we got Ronan's reviews, the first one in. Good morning, panel. We've got Comic Book Black Belt, jumped in right away at 9:01. Greetings, nerds. It's the first one there. We've got Will Pace. Welcome, my friend. It's good to have you here today. We got Whiskey O'Connell on the panel and on the chat.
Hello.
Thank you. We've got a nice little bot there in the Twitchverse. John A. Douglas, welcome. Good morning. And my comic book friends, welcome. Glenn Fleming is in the house. Watching nerds do wells. Nerd do wells.
What's a nerd do wells?
There we go. I figured it out. It's early. I haven't had too much coffee yet. Yeah. All right. Russ thinks of the Roman Empire all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. Hojo says, I think of the Roman Empire every time I think of America's decline, which is all too often. Yes. Yep. All empires fall from within. It's happening now. It really is. The difference between the current Western world and the Romans is that we're allowing it to happen, even welcoming it.
The Romans didn't allow it to happen?
They didn't. I think they didn't think about it, but they definitely.
They were distracted by the games and the welfare that they were being
decadence.
Given. Is that what it is?
The age of decadence.
They were, yeah. Well, one of the things that they did in the Roman Empire to keep the citizens docile and keeping their eyes off of what the ruling class was doing, they would have month-long games. For months, they would have gladiator games and different games that they would bring into the arena for, and then they would go out and they would give them free food, so they had like basic welfare from the government. And this was all just to appease them from pointing their fingers at the ruling class and overthrowing them.
Just like television today.
Just like television, just like our sports arenas, and just like our current welfare situation.
It was Nero, right? The one that caused the end.
He did, because he started burning Christians.
Then he learned how to play.
And then he realized the Christians were the ones that were paying some bills.
What do you mean they were productive? They're just lion food, right?
Yeah, line food. Tasty victuals.
Nom nom.
Schism says, don't you crab heads get your hopes up. I'm here, you bacon ears. Hail to all.
Schism.
Welcome, John's Long Box. Good to have you here.
Mm.
The Romans, I now speak highly. I know, speak highly of the panel.
The Romans I know speak highly of the panel.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need glasses, I think. I need to put on my glasses. Mate, here, let me just blow up the screen a little bit. Here we go.
I'll just keep going. Morning,
Wait.
bacon fans from Dr. Ben. Yeah. Benjamin
Ben.
Soto says, good morning, guys. Agent Zero says it's the Gregorian calendar, which changed. Yeah.
Ah, the Gregorians.
Them damn Gregorians.
I had a friend, so I worked at this church,
Christian.
and I shared an office with my friend who was the worship leader. And this cat, man, I'm telling you what, he would play Gregorian chants in the office. I said, dude, I love you, but you got to quit. Like, you've got to knock it off. Because I'd go walk in there, and it's like it's dark, and he's got a candle burning, and it's I'm like, what the flip is going on? Driving me crazy. I love that guy, though. I miss him. Every 5th of November, we would watch V for Vendetta together. We would get our done work early, and we would.
I didn't realize anybody used that film as a tradition. So
Yes.
there we are.
There we go, and everything's bigger. I don't hardly ever wear my glasses. I don't normally need them. I think my eyes are tired from staring at the screen for so long.
Everything's bigger.
Everything's bigger. Sweetie, put on your glasses.
Yeah.
Or take them off whenever you need.
They also had whatever that name is, the first transgender empire. The next thing you know, it was over. Transgenderism is the death of civilization.
There was a transgender empire.
As Lennon sang, keep
I didn't know that.
you doped with religion, sex, and TV.
Elga Igalalabalas or something. I don't know.
Try to pronounce that name.
Alabalas.
Egobalas. Egobalas. My close,
Wadi?
my close John's long.
I like my pronunciation. Egalabalalas.
Sure right. Yeah. La 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 la. Yeah. I prefer to think of the Viking field of battle in my ascension to Asgard. There you are.
There you go.
Odin is
Gregorian
with it.
chants are creepy.
Yep.
Not sure what NGL means.
Not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie. Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
Let's find a Gregorian chant for you.
Look at all
Right,
nations
give it
that
to you.
adopted transgenderism. It was their society's downfall. Dionysus is the end of civilizations. Egalalus was a Roman emperor. So was Caligula.
Caligula. So this is what I would walk into the office listening. I'm like, what on earth?
You brought Tree Goblin into the house. Hello.
That's what brought him in.
That's what
Little
brought him.
Gregorian chant, huh?
It just shows up.
That's what does it.
Only he's there.
Yeah. These Gregorian chants were crazy.
Says
Yeah, it was a
careful.
lot of fun.
Agent Zero says careful. You might get struck.
That's why I stopped it.
All that stuff's copywritten.
Yes, everything is.
Just
So I was doing a live stream the other day, and I forgot to check to make sure that my background music was copyright free.
Mhm.
And I got a channel warning. It happens. It happens.
Did you get a wrist slap? Don't do it again.
I did. They were like,
They're just looking for an
you
excuse.
stinker. Yeah, they were like, how dare you? You know our. They said, we'll remove your warning if you take a class.
I'll give you such a pinch.
Is that what they said?
Yeah. I have to take a class on their community standards,
Jeez.
and I can get it removed. And I'm like, I refuse. So I don't have any restrictions. I just have a warning. So
good for 90 days. Then it
Because
Who
I'm
knows?
ungovernable.
I'm ungovernable. I'm an incorrigible fool, Randy. Speaking of incorrigible fools, how was your weekend?
well, my weekend was really good. My week so far has been really good. I've got a free schedule and I'm drawing monkeys. So it's
Yeah,
all
you were
good.
working with that client last week, so you weren't here.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
Making a pitch that didn't quite land. That's all right. That's the way it works.
Well, welcome to Independent.
So you said
and,
earlier, you win some and you lose the rest. That's the way it works.
Whiskey, how was your week, man? You weren't here last week either.
Nope. Just been basically busy working on the script for my stuff. I just hired an editor finally, Aldris on the farm, and just been working my way through the weeds, I guess, trying to, keep my ego in check while the editor tears the crap out of my work.
You just decided to go state's evidence against Trump, didn't you? That's what it was.
Oh, that happens.
But yeah, been good.
So Isaac Bell had nothing but nice things to say about FMC on his crowdfunding video last night. Nice. Great. Up We'll be talking about some FMC stuff here in a moment. I don't know if you guys know this, but I've got a campaign that is going to be up in there's up in sign up right now. And let me bring that up real quick, just so that I can show it off for you. Oh, where are you? Star. There we go. I got to bring up this. Man, I am boomer like crazy today.
More coffee.
More coffee. So I'm having a pretty good time these days. Last night I went to, maybe that's why last night I went to the drum circle. My wife calls it a drum circle. It's not a drum circle.
That could be why you're so scattered this morning.
Yeah, it's the open mic down at the coffee house. And I have a good time with that. So Joe Spicer, my good friend over at Starcross Comics years ago when I was still in Starcross, I wrote this team up for his and I character, Starstruck. And so we finally got it done. Like, it hit the back burner for a very long time. We've got more rewards that are going to be coming up here, but this is kind of the basic, just a little bit of a sign up. We're going to have a whole full-blown campaign launching here on the 9th on Michael Bancroft's channel. Yeah. So that's in sign up right now. So guys, go over there and make sure you sign up for notifications. We're going to send out a coupon code for a discount on a special get something free reward. And you can get that right there in the chat. So yeah, we got that going on. It's holiday season, guys. And ICV2 has gifts for you.
So does Facebook. Facebook's got a ton of gifts.
Ideas for the most important season of the year. I'm glad they're doing this. Because it's very important. I don't know if you know this or not.
Super important. Is a gift.
So the first thing on their list, thanks ICV2, is a manga gift guide. There you are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That'll help.
That'll help sell comics.
Wolfler, it's in the house.
What's up, Wolfler?
What's up, Luke and friends?
The most important season of the retailing year is upon us.
Oh, no.
And we're here with ideas from our writers and columnists for gift items to stock in your store. With the right items on display, Geek Culture stores can capture more of their customers' holiday spending. Yes, it's ICV2 Gifts Week, and we're offering gift merchandising ideas in multiple categories on ICV2.com. This week was with special content supported by sponsors Fanroll, Hatchet Board Games USA, and Circana. Featured manga gift guide. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. So buy that manga, guys. Let's see what manga they are saying we need to buy. Anything from Viz Media. Chainsaw Man. That actually does look pretty cool, that box set.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Let me see. Are they selling us any...
They're trying to sell you some columns.
Games gifts for retailers to consider.
Sponsored content. Yeah.
The Peanuts. There we go.
Good old Chuck.
So there were quite a few spicy holiday game selections announced this year.
Hmm.
The trend of game publishers gravitating towards releasing seasonal games is a continuing theme from 2022. This year, there were quite a few more game holiday-themed games, products entering the market ahead of the season. One of the more popular items that publishers produced this year was advent calendars.
Wait.
Joy.
Is it
These
coming out?
seemed to the new favorite holiday skew of tabletop card games and dice publishers, and are a good idea for retailers to add to their inventory early in the cycle to catch some holiday sales. Moms and dads have been trending away from handing their kids advent calendars with sweets and chocolates in them, and the game-themed calendars are an excellent alternative. Do you guys ever do that? You ever buy those advent calendars from the Aldi or any place like that?
My parents used to buy the calendars with the little chocolates in them, right? Are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. We get them every single year up until I was probably 12, I think.
Last year I had one that was hot sauces. 25 days, 25 hot sauces.
There you
Wow.
go. That'll keep you on fire for a month.
It was a great year. It was a great,
Literally.
Yeah. I still have a couple
All in that,
of them.
all in that month too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you, yeah. You did not want to stand downwind of me.
He was on fire.
I eat hot sauce.
Welcome, Henry. Henry
every
Thrun.
day.
Fire.
Henry Thrun is
Henry
in the
says,
house.
"Hail."
Thrun.
Hail, Henry.
It's good to have you here. Yeah. Let's look at some of these expensive. Here's some big dollar gift ideas.
Big dollar.
Big dollar gifts for the
Everybody
retail
needs a
shelves.
dinosaur head trophy in their man cave. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I would have
Right.
one. I would have one in a hot second.
think
Some
it's white.
gamers have everything, and those gamers are often very hard to buy for when the holiday season comes around. Thus, it would benefit some shops to stock a few high-end items here and there to accommodate the gift giver looking to appease a gaming whale. Whale. That's a great term.
That's what they call
Yeah.
these big buyers.
Whales.
Someone wants the other. So it was probably, I don't know. It was earlier
That's
in
what
the year.
P.T. Barnum used to call a sucker.
Yeah.
but
Someone goes, I'm a whale. You
A
don't understand. I'm a whale. I spent a lot of money on indie comics. And I've never heard this person's name.
Yeah. Oftentimes, curating these high-end gifts is somewhat of a hassle, as retailers are worried about their gas bills. Retailers periodically need to strike a balance of inventory in their store. The ideal high-end gifts are ones that will assuredly move off the shelves quickly at the beginning of the holiday season and have good enough buzz behind that may even warrant small restock in December. Unfortunately, these types of items are few and far between, especially those high-end items that there are that there is even a chance of being over or restocked. This year, ICV2 has done a little research and has a few suggestions for high-end gifts to consider stocking. For those gift ideas for the 2024 holiday season, there's a link. Anyway,
Here we go. What are these gifts?
here we are.
Oh,
It sent you back to that page we were at before. There we are.
Keep going around and around in circles. Big dollar gifts for retail shelves.
That's what they like.
Oh, there we go. There's another circle. Man,
Yep.
talk about a
Success.
circle. I wanted to show that off this morning because I thought that was funny. When I was looking at that last night, man, this thing's going in circles. Shop talk. 3 comic book shops close. 3 game stores open.
Henry's got to get to work.
Have a good day at work. Enjoy
Yeah,
yourself.
Take care, Henry. Russ says we have a Spanish fabric wall hanging with 24 pockets, and we put our own sweets in. There you are.
That's smart.
We use those for shoes. But anyway,
Let's see. You get a lot of money.
Yeah, we
At
use
least
those
the
for
wife
12
does.
pairs of shoes.
the wife's got more than 24 pairs of shoes. So.
All right, so the comic book industry is doing great. The retail industry, no issues whatsoever.
Comics are booming.
Comics are booming.
Comics are booming.
Everything's fine.
The Milwaukee, Wisconsin Comic Shop Collector's Edge has a copy of Amazing Fantasy number 15 for sale. ABC News reports the issue marks the first appearance of Spider-Man as a CG 9.6 copy, sold for $3.6 million in 2021. The Collector's Edge copy, which a couple found among the belongings of a deceased relative, is graded 3.0, and owner Steve Dobrinsky expects to get about 35 grand for it. The store posted on its Facebook that anyone interested in purchasing the comic should stop by and talk to the owner.
3,500, 35,000.
35,000.
35K,
Jeffrey,
babe.
I
It's kind
sold
of an
one.
event.
I sold one of those for like $350 when I was retailing. But
Did you really?
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
Hell of a deal, guys. Hell of a deal.
Hell of a deal. Well, now it is. Jeffrey Peterson, the second owner of Jeffrey's Comics and Heidi Ho Comics, announced on Facebook that the stores will close on December 31st, 2023. We were literally the first comic book stores in LA, Patterson said. His father opened the original store in 1977, and Patterson II later took over the business. In the Facebook post, Patterson attributed the closing to a number of factors, including the COVID-19 pandemic having multiple distributors with different new comics days, declining profitability of tabletop card games, his own health problems, and his mistake, ordering too much in hopes that the business would return to pre-COVID levels. There's nothing in there about the real problem, which is the quality drop in corporate comics.
Yeah.
Nothing in there at all.
And the games as well.
And games, I'm not. Yeah. I can't attest to the games. I'm not a gamer.
Well, yeah, the same stuff that's going on with Marvel goes on with the Wizards of the Coast, which is probably their
I've
major,
heard. Yeah,
for the Magic the Gathering. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And these card games, like, you think the value is going to be really high, and then they drop. They're not worth as much.
Yeah. Despite the closure of both. Yep. Despite the closure of both brick and mortar stores. However, Patterson will continue to offer pull list services and plans to have pull parties at different locations so customers can pick up their comics and hang out with other fans.
I'm seeing a lot of people do this. They close down their brick and mortar, but they maintain their retail status with a business location somewhere so that they can get in a pull list, and then they just distribute to people that way. I'm seeing a lot of businesses do this. Which,
from what I understand, is technically against the rules as far as Diamond is concerned. I don't know about the other distributors that you have to have a brick and mortar store in order to operate out of, but they don't care because they're just desperately trying to move product.
It is against the rules.
Two more closings of note. Pulp 716 Coffee and Comics will close both its locations at Lockport and North Towanda, New York, on October 31st. Ooh, that's pretty quick here. According to its Facebook, the North Tonawanda location was twice nominated for the Will Eisner Spirit of Comics Retailer Award, and Heroes Comics of Fresno, California, will close its single location on December 31st after over 30 years in the business. Owner Dave Allreed told ABC 30 the main reason for the closure was that his landlord wanted to raise the rent by 70%.
That'll do it.
No mention in lack of quality in the corporate count.
So this is really
not even mentioned.
This is not 3 closures. This is 4 closures.
4 closures.
That's 2 locations of 1 store. Mm-hmm. So that's a really total of 4 stores are no longer going to be available to the customers.
Yeah. Sheen Duff, owner of the West Seattle, Washington comic shop Tales to Astonish, was left reeling after the store was burglarized twice in 6 weeks. The burglars went for valuable back issues, including some signed by Stan Lee. Half of our business that we did was back issue sales, and 3/4 of our back issue value was probably on those walls, Duff told KIR 07. On the aftermath of the second robbery, he plans to increase security and stop keeping comics worth more than $100 in the store. Ooh.
Oh,
I'm sorry to hear that, guy. I hope you
Man.
catch whoever's. It's probably the same people that performed both robberies.
probably
I
a
hope,
former
I hope you end
employee.
up catching them. Yeah, it's somebody that's gone in and scoped out the store pretty well.
Yeah.
Brainstorm Comics and Gaming in Frederick, Maryland, which closed one of its
Minnesota.
locations because of the pandemic, is now closing its remaining location. But co-owner John Frazier says the closure is temporary. We fell behind on our taxes, so the state told us, we couldn't renew our business license until we settled that. So it's either close down or start being fined for operating without being compliant. He told the Frederick News Post the store owes $70,000 to $75,000 in back taxes. Frazier is hoping to auction off some of his inventory to help pay the bill.
Gosh.
Well, good luck to you, sir.
Very much so. Getting behind on your taxes, you don't screw with the IRS. It's
No.
that's why I tell everybody always.
But they
always
got guns now.
get a good accountant. Yeah, and a lot of
Yeah.
people to look for, and they're aiming for the vulnerable, which means the lower income or the high lower income folks that aren't that think that they can do it all themselves. That's why you really need an accountant to make sure that you're on the straight and narrow.
You want Bidenomics in a single image? It's an IRS agent with a gun. That's it.
Yeah. And happier news, several new game stores have opened their doors recently. Philip Lattale has who just launched hidden table games in Eagle, Colorado, told Vail Daily that his purpose in opening the store, half of which is a game playing area, is to give local gamers a place to meet. The whole reason why I'm starting this to begin with is to develop a community and create a place where people can come to purely have fun, he said. I'm really doing this because I want there to be an alternative to people drinking 3 to 4 nights a week. Justin and Jordan Schatz, speaking of drinking, Justin and Jordan Schatz have opened the Room and Board board game shop in Fairborn, Ohio. Justin Schatz told the Dayton Daily News that the shop will focus on interesting but lesser known games. You can find the best sellers just about anywhere. You can go to Target and get a lot of them, but we want to carry the stuff that we're not going to find at other places, he said in the article. We had one called Raccoon Sky Pirates that lasted about an hour on the shelf. The shop will have a casual, family-friendly atmosphere similar to the recently closed Centerville store, the Gaming Goat. It kind of left a little void, Schatz said of that closure. I like all our local game shops, all of them, but there was a different vibe, and that's the kind of what I wanted.
Well, I want to know, why did the other one close?
The Gaming Goat?
Yeah, why did the Gaming Goat close?
Hard to say.
I mean, as a libertarian,
could be
and
business was bad. Anyway,
bad.
It's weird. It's weird to me that they're opening stores specifically for tabletop gaming in like a time where most of the tabletop games on the market are doing the whole Marvel thing,
and the entire business is cratering. Yeah.
Well, I think really they just opened up a Warhammer store. Like
Really?
It's just a store
dedicated to Warhammer.
Just
Well,
Warhammer.
Warhammer is their main store. Games Workshop is what
Yeah.
they call their store. It's just Warhammer now, and they're open everywhere. There's one in
40K.
Yeah, they used to be. I think.
It's a big deal because they made fun of it on South Park last week.
It's big business, but it's in decline for its business, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Been waiting for their
I
Panda.
haven't looked at numbers for it in a while.
That comes
Go
out
live.
tomorrow.
Is it today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I believe, the 27th.
Here's another tale of career change leading to retailing. Hannah L. Tarmidi was working in film production in New York when the pandemic hit. Unable to work, She returned to her family home in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Now she runs Here Be Dragons, a one-stop tabletop shop. In the suburb of Pertaling Jaya. Pertaling Jaya. I'm a self-confessed introvert, but I enjoy storytelling and engaging, and RPGs are a cross-section of all the things I love, she told FMT Lifestyle. You get to spend time with loved ones in a cozy setting while telling stories or fighting to the death for some board games.
Oh, you don't even have to say the board games. I mean, that's the holidays at my house. Fighting to the death, right?
Fighting to the death, yeah. The store focuses on RPGs and has a wide selection of other games, and as well as snacks, a room for painting miniatures, and a private gaming room.
I'm telling you, these private spaces that you can rent out, that's where the future's at.
Yeah.
Because people don't have room in their houses, or they don't want to be at their, like, you know, if I wanted to decide I was going to have a bunch of friends over, you know, for a gaming night, couldn't do it, you know? I mean, maybe we could, but it's not that we don't have space. It's that I don't want to bother the rest of my family with it, you know?
Who has
Make it
the
a party.
time?
Yeah. Retailer Brian Winter is bullish on game stores, so much so that he just opened the third location of I'm Bored Games and Family Fun in Madison, Wisconsin. Winter told the Cap News that he left a middle management job in 2011 to open his first store in Middleton, telling his wife, quote, I don't want any deathbed regrets, so let's give it a try, unquote. The stores stock gateway games such as Catan, as well as other board games, TCGs, and RPG supplies, and they are designed to be friendly to first-time customers. Winter offered several pieces of advice to would-be retailers, including this one, quote, make a business plan. It's one thing to say, I have a really strong feeling that this will work, and it's another one to prove it on a piece of paper and then take that piece of paper to a bank and say, quote, give me some money to make this happen. So do that work ahead of time, make that business plan, and keep it up to date.
That seems like a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to start a business. Yeah.
Where's Stevens Point, Michigan? That's weird. There's a Galaxy Comics. That's where I get my comics from, but that's in Saginaw. Galaxy Comics, Games, and More in Stevens Point, Michigan posted on Facebook that it has opened a temporary location after the store was damaged by a building fire in September. Looking for comic shops in northern New Jersey, the Montclair Girl has you covered, whatever that means. The Daily Iowan profiles Daydream Comics, which has been the only comic shop in Iowa City, Iowa, since 1986. This is the comics record and pop culture chain Newberry Comics is opening a new location in Syracuse, New York, according to the local SYR.com. Kevin Flash, owner of Vendetta Comics on Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, tells the FDL reporter how he expanded from one store, Flashpoint Comics and Collectibles, to two. Washington, D.C. news station WTOP spotlights Phantom Comics in the DuPont Circle area. Thinking of opening a shop? Book Riot tells you how.
Yeah. There you go, guys. Go out there, start your shop.
Start your shop now.
I'm really surprised about this Wisconsin thing where he's got two or three shops opening up. Like, I mean, like it kind of made little sense towards the end of the article when he's talking about, Settlers of Catan. I forgot they're still evergreen products for tabletop games and board games and stuff like that. If you want to call them evergreen products that will always sell. But tabletop games and board games and card games, they're not doing well at all because
most parts of Wisconsin are like northern Canada. They're snowed in about 8 months out of the year. So what are you going to do?
Sense.
You either read books or you play games, or you get on a streaming service and,
location, I guess.
Binge yourself an extra 20 pounds. Hex Allen Comics, it's so sad. I used to go there in the 80s and visited during the pandemic. Yeah. It's always sad to see stores closing. But, none of these, well, I don't need to say that, I guess. None of these retailers want to organize and tell these corporate people to start looking at their, the way that they're selling their comics, because these corporate guys don't care. Russ says pool party sounds dirty.
It does.
Just
It's a
little
pool
suggestion.
party.
It's a pool party.
Love my account so much I married her.
Yep, there you are. Love my accountant so much I married her.
What do you mean just open a store? There's many of them.
Yeah.
Just call me insane is in the house. Welcome.
Good morning. Yep.
Tree
And
Gone.
Ronan says Wog.
That's the orcs from
Wow.
Warhammer.
This is going to be this one's contentious, guys.
This one?
Joy.
CBLDF's Jeff Trexler on Scholastic Book Fair's new policy.
Yeah.
Scholastic Book Fairs, the pop-up shops that have been a feature of school life for decades, are drawing fire from numerous quarters because of a new practice started this year. Books about LGBTQ plus topics and racism are not included in the general collection, but in a separate case called Share Every Story, which schools can opt not to include when ordering books for their book fair. Good on them.
Good on them.
Especially adult topics should be sequestered from the fun, just straight up entertaining books. So you're not pounded over the head out of the blue by a message that you didn't ask for, didn't want to pay for. The company says, now this didn't mean they were banning these books.
No.
This didn't mean that they were censoring these books. This meant that they were putting them in a specific place where schools can choose whether or not they want their students to have access to them.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully they ask the parents.
That doesn't stop them having access to them, because you've got the web, you've got scholastic.com or whatever. The kids can get these books if they want. And the parents who want their kids to know about these subjects
But
can
it's also
have
allows
access to the
school-
book, but they're more informed about what they're getting.
It also allows a school that doesn't want to feature those books not to have them.
Yeah, because who needs the hassle? Everybody's seen all of these school board meetings now, where these angered parents, rightly angered parents, stand up and read passages out of some of these books and have their tails escorted out of the office for reading a book that's accessible to their kids at these schools and book fairs. The company says that all their book fairs include diverse books and that the separate collection was necessary because of state regulations restricting books about LGBTQ plus people or racism in schools and school libraries. That sounds like they're passing the blame, but that's the way it goes. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, just a bit of obfuscation.
Yeah, perspective, I would think. This is their spin. It's a supplier side version of what's happening with the librarians in Missouri, Texas, and other areas, from states to school districts. Jeff Trexler, interim director of the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund, told ICV2, Scholastic is not pulling books or setting books aside because they're censors, racist, etc. They feel forced to take actions they wouldn't otherwise take due to circumstances beyond their control. Well, it's out of their hands. Librarians don't want to lose their jobs or jeopardize the library's funding. Publishers don't want schools to have to sacrifice all books due to potential legal consequences or public attacks due to certain images or themes. Condemnation won't address the underlying problem. I'm much more interested in solving it. Well, this is why you need a rating system, and you need to have your parents informed to look at the rating system before they allow their kid to read a book. If there's questionable content, and there's nothing, that there's no censorship or anything involved in that. It's just a matter of information exchange to the librarians and to the parents where they should be shelving these books. It's just irritating. Again, it's been a big thing for me lately that you have to legislate common sense. It's just, it's sad to see in today's time where you have to make laws in order to make publishers concerned about their readership. It's ridiculous to me. Trexler also made an appeal for volunteers, saying that CBLDF wants to work with local attorneys, librarians, and others in areas where books are being challenged. There is no skill, there is no background that is not relevant to us, he said. Local networks are power. And the people who are part of the CBLDF, they're the real power of the CBLDF, and that's how we're going to win this. What is there to win? Just make a rating system and adhere to it. That's all you got to do. That's all your parents want.
See, that's the problem, though.
And they
these
can't.
publishers and these creators, that's not what they want.
No, it's
They
not.
want their content to fly under the radar.
Some of them.
Well, more than you realize.
Well, I'm sure. I'm sure that they're out there. Yeah.
A whole heck of a lot more than you realize.
The Scholastic Book Fairs division is separate from Scholastic's trade division, which publishes a wide variety of books and graphic novels with diverse creators and characters, including an upcoming graphic novel by Maya Kobabe. Oh, yeah, Maya Kobabe, creator of Genderqueer. See, Genderqueer's creator moves from Oni to graphics. Well, maybe because Oni went through and completely fired all of their marketing people once they found out what they did, and plus their president and their vice president. Anyway, some of the publisher's titles, including Raina Telgemeier's drama, have been the subject of numerous challenges. See ALA's most banned books 2018 list goes to 11.
Graphics has got a list of them.
Scholastic Book Fairs issued a statement on Friday, October 13th. Good time to release a positive statement, stating the separate collection was a response to existing and pending state laws restricting the content of books in school classrooms and libraries. Because Scholastic Book Fairs are invited into schools where books can be purchased by kids on their own, these laws create an almost impossible dilemma. Back away from these titles or risk making teachers, librarians, and volunteers vulnerable to being fired, sued, or prosecuted, the statement said. The purpose, we're victims. The statement said, the purpose of the Share Every Story collection is to allow those, pardon?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
The purpose of the Share Every Story collection is to allow those running the book fairs to opt out of books that might be problematic for them. We don't pretend this solution is perfect, but the other option would be to not offer these books at all, which is not something we'd consider, the statement said, because we're interested in grooming. There is a wide range of diverse titles throughout every book fair for every age level. We continue to offer diverse books throughout our middle school fairs, which remain unchanged. So the middle school kids still have access to this.
You know what I hate about progressivism? It says that our greatest strength is our diversity. And that is just bull crap, isn't it? If you think about the most diverse groups, they fight all the time because they're so diverse. Everybody wants their own way and everybody thinks their way is the best.
Well, it's important to keep people separated and fighting amongst themselves so they don't
Our
realize
greatest
the real
strength
problem
is our civility.
Yeah.
That's our greatest strength, is our ability to be civil and our ability to be
our greatest
rational.
It's to be able to independently think for ourselves, but that's a whole nother matter. Yeah. Nonetheless, the move has drawn widespread condemnation from librarians, commentators, and creators. Molly Knox Ostertag, creator of the Witch Boy trilogy, published by Scholastic, spoke out at the Scholastic Party at New York Comic Con and later posted her statement on Twitter that said, in part, quote, "It seems to be a good faith effort to protect teachers and librarians and understand the reasoning, but I feel the need to stand up tonight and say that I think it is a grave miscalculation. It doesn't come across as anything but an attempt to compromise with, frankly, racist laws." Well, how about parental rights and leaving it up to them to decide which books their kids need to read? Yeah. Anyway, Comic Book Black Belt Russ says this is a leg up to get these books specially featured, but it's backfired, and now schools are leaving that collection off their list. Well, yeah. Anybody that has concern, any organization out there that has concerned parents, once they open these books and see what's in some of them, not all of them, some of them, they need to be off the shelves, or at least on a higher shelf. Let's put it that way, out of reach of younger minds. Ostertag and a number of writers and artists, including Raina Telgemeier, Katie Farina, artist of the best-selling Babysitter's Little Sister, and Jarrett Kroskanska
Best of luck.
Have signed a, yes, is that what that means?
Yep.
Anyway, have signed a statement opposing the new policy. Quote, while the Scholastic Trade Division does publish many diverse books, the Fairs Division must follow that through and commit to actually getting those books to kids. We need them.
There it is, folks.
Wow.
There it
The
is.
statement says
You
they've
have
got to
get
learn.
You have to get my porn to the child, please.
Yep. You have to get my porn to your kids.
Wood chipper.
The statement said the book separated for optional exclusion and almost entirely written about or by people of color or the LGBTQIA
Just
plus
alphabet.
community. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the alphabet.
Deciding that the subject matter of these books might go against states' laws. That's not that's state laws.
But that they do go against states' laws.
That's states' laws for obscenity.
Yes.
That's what it is. See, all of these books could be edited down and still be able to get their point across. It's just that they have to be graphic about it.
Yeah.
They have to go through step by step on how to do. Anyway, deciding that the subject matter of these books might go against the state's law capitulates to the idea that these books are not suitable for children. That is harmful and wrong.
Look, I'm going to say
some
this.
of them aren't suitable for children.
You can unsub from this channel. You can unlike me. You can leave me a dirty mail. I don't care. A lot of these are unsuitable for children. They are. Hands down.
And if you don't think they are, you need to go in and actually look at this stuff. Pick up a copy of Genderqueer and read it.
If you think that's suitable for children, I'm praying for your soul because you need Jesus.
Because a lot of these folks...
And if you hand that book to my child, I'll help you find him.
It's so easy. It's so easy to pigeonhole this under censorship and evil, when really the evil comes from that instruction that they're putting and the graphic images that they're putting in these books. It's crazy when you really sit down and look at it. Like I said, find a copy of Genderqueer and read it and see if your 8-year-old kid or your 8-year-old cousin, your 8-year-old grandkid should be reading that book. That's all you got to do. You got to become educated about this stuff and be aware instead of just listening to the bare bone opinions. You know, if you don't have even if you don't have a kid in school, you should be concerned about this. Poet Amanda Gorman, whose book Change Sings is one of those included in the special collection, took a similar stance in a video on Twitter saying, sequestering and isolating and separating the books we need more than ever right now is not the way forward. I implore Scholastic to explore other options, to think strategically and creatively around this conversation of how do we not further censorship, but instead include these authors in our fight against book bans.
You know what? There's this really strange irony in our culture right now. Don't apply for this job unless you are X, Y, or Z. That's segregation and separatism, right?
You have to check a box.
Well, we only buy at black businesses. Well, that's separation. Let's have our
racism.
We're going to do our own segregation. Mm-hmm. This only blacks only club, a gays only club. But what I want you to do is replace that blank only with white. And how would the world respond? Right?
Oh, they'd have.
In one breath, they are preaching and celebrating segregation by calling it the alphabet community. Right? But then they get upset when, like, oh, well, these are all the alphabet books. They get upset when they are then put in their own category that they've put them in.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, we want our own stuff. We want our own segregation, but we want to be able to put what we want everywhere you go. At the Dove Awards, there's an openly gay Christian artist. I don't understand you can even say that. They say the F-bomb so many times in their songs, but they claim to be a Christian artist, openly gay. There's a drag queen named Flamey Grant that sings and shows up to this thing, claims to be a Christian, and a singer from a band that I used to love called Cayman's Call. He shows up in a dress to the Dove Awards, which is Christian music's biggest award show, which number one, I think it's stupid because it's just other people they're just bragging about each other. And it's the biggest ego stroke in the world. I don't like award shows of any kind.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's most of the award shows anymore.
Right.
Nothing.
But then,
congratulations.
That'd be, would someone show up at like a Muslim's award show doing that? No, because they want their own segregation, but they want to insert without impunity their thoughts, behaviors as normal with everybody else. And I'm quite frankly, I'm tired of it. I really am.
Well, there's a lot of hypocrisy there, right? You can see in the article here, they talk about like censorship too, which is laughable, like coming from this particular ideological group. The other day, here in Canada, for example, there was a couple of people that were on the subway alone or something, talking, have a private conversation.
Oh,
and they changed the bylaws.
Really?
And they're doing this all over Canada, where like somebody overheard the conversation. There was like one other person in the car. They basically became offended, and they called the authorities, and then arrested them. Right, and they were writing into the bylaws about like censorship policies, like draconian censorship policies, because the conversation disrupted the enjoyment of another passenger. The passenger became offended, and that was all it took for those two individuals become arrested.
Yeah,
that's insane. That's like straight up fascist laws, and they're using the bylaws to like basically push it, right? Where you can't do it on the federal level, but you can do it on local levels, and every like transportation, is adopting this stuff. So like the same people talking about, it's not exactly the same people, but the same ideology of these people talk about censorship. It's freaking laughable, right? Yeah. They champion censorship all the damn time.
There's a good chance that this video will get taken down.
It might, because of our topic.
Yep.
Yeah. In our recent Substack post, I used the term coalition when referring to creators in the indie space. We are not a community, but a coalition. We can have unity without having to be too close. Justin says, Woke Breaker says, hail chat, hail Woke Breaker. Unity without uniformity. Yep. Hicks Villain in the house. Sup. Not diverse. It's a monoculture. Mm-hmm. Tree Goblin says diversity is a weakness. Good morning, Tank Ferret. Tank Ferret says good morning. The state and its status adherents wants to be the parent. See Big Brother, the father, the mother, etc. Yep. Tank. All right. Tank Ferret says, I see you're talking about one of the many reasons why my wife and I homeschool. Yep.
That's the way.
It is the way.
It seems that way. Oi, Tank. Hey, corporate speak. Black, coexist. Ryan Long did a great sketch about how the woke and racist get along so well. Funny.
It was very funny. It was very funny.
Yeah, the Ryan Long sketch. That's great.
Yeah.
Flamey Grant.
Yeah.
Flamey Grant.
Yeah.
I think my favorite one was of Long's was his
I understand that reference.
Window smashing repair business.
Yeah.
And everyone's gay once in a while.
He'd go along and he'd be like part of Antifa, right, or whatever. Pretend, and then afterwards he put on a shirt and he'd be like Antifa repair, window repair. It's just really, this is a really funny.
It is
awards are participation trophies. Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, they never get more extremely devout Muslims involved in the discussion about all this book censorship stuff yet. They need to get more. extremely devout. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get them in there. Let's see what they have
All
to
of
say
you
about
points
it.
in. Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what cracks me up is
Tell them to leave the stones at the door, though.
Is the alphabets
Canada.
for Palestine. I'm like, yeah, why don't you go
to
Palestine and see how long you last?
Mm-hmm.
They don't like you.
Yeah.
They
Speaking of
won't like
Canada,
your lifestyle at all.
sorry.
Oh, Canada.
Speaking of Canada, my own day job workflow, I've noticed an unprecedented level of credit card fraud coming from Canada these days.
Yeah. So on our backside for Fund My Comic,
backside.
That's what she said. On our backside, we've been noticing a lot of rejected transactions from Canada.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No idea. So obviously we don't see it because you guys see it because we're on your,
Mm-hmm. If you look at something and there's nothing there, what's the difference of figuring out what it was in the first place?
Blame Canada.
You know what? That actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Sadly, that makes sense. If you look at something and nothing's there, what was the point of trying to figure it out in the first place?
Well, now here's Scholastic apologizing, reversing their bookstore policy.
This took a couple days. It was published on the 25th.
A couple of days.
12 days. 12 days.
Creators complaining. You put me in a box.
The loud minority.
My kids can't buy my books showing people how to do. Anyway, in a letter, creators that was widely posted on social media, Scholastic Trade Publishing President Ellie Berger apologized to its writers and artists for the book fair's new practice of putting potentially controversial books in a separate optional case, and said the practice will be discontinued. Update: Scholastic has made a statement on its website stating the Share Every Story, Celebrate Every Voice collection will not be offered with our next season in January, as we reconsider how to make our book fairs available to all kids. We will keep in mind the needs of our educators facing local content restrictions and the children we serve. It is unsettling that the current divisive landscape in the U.S. is creating an environment that could deny any child access to books, or that teachers could be penalized for creating access to all stories for their students. Well,
in some cases, it's just the way it should be.
And again,
double speak there. Like first they cause the divisive landscape. Secondly, don't put that crap in kids'
They're
hands.
shaming us for,
in other words,
the divisive landscape.
Grooming will be permitted. Anyway, Witch Boy creator Molly Knox Ostertag, who openly criticized the new policy, tweeted a letter from Berger, as did a number of other artists and writers, including many who are published by Scholastic. In the letter, which was addressed to Scholastic authors and illustrators, Berger wrote, first, I want to apologize on behalf of Scholastic. Even if the decision was made with good intention, we understand now that it was a mistake to segregate diverse books.
The Ku Klux Klan! Oh, no!
Segregate diverse books in an elective case. We sincerely apologize to every author, illustrator, licensor, educator, librarian, parent, and reader who was hurt by our action. Actually, they were just trying to make them more informed, but that's a whole nother story. We recognize and acknowledge the pain caused and that we have broken the trust of some of our publishing. We've broken the trust of some of our publishing community.
Man, I swear if they use the word safety in this too, I'm going to have to scream.
Friends, trusted partners, and staff. We also recognize that we now need to regain that trust. More grooming. She said that the separate case will be discontinued in January when the next book fair season begins. In the meantime, she said, Scholastic is working on a pivot plan, adding, we will find an alternate way to get a greater range of books into the hands of children. Grooming. We remain committed to the books in this collection and support their sale throughout our distribution channels.
We will distribute your grooming books.
Yeah. Yep. We're sorry. We'll distribute your stuff. So what if the
Look,
parents don't
it's
want
like
their
what you
kids to
said,
read?
Whiskey. They created the diversity. and then yelled that it's, or created
Divisiveness.
the divisiveness and complained that it's there.
How can he close me up? On what ground?
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
You're winning, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Everybody out at once.
Well, it's part of the language that the people use here is intentionally gaslighting, if that's the
Yes.
right word.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. No, it is. Yeah, you're right.
Just nuts.
What does BIPOC mean?
People
What's
of
the BI?
color, I think.
Where'd you run into that? Is that
I mean,
coming
I know
up?
what I think the POC is people of color, but I don't know what the BI like.
Binary? No,
I have no idea. Chat, help me out. I have no idea what it means.
Anybody know?
I can consult the book of knowledge.
I guess I'm too based. I don't know why. Grown.
BIPOC, what does it mean and where does it come from?
Oh God.
Language to describe racial minorities has fueled controversy in the United States for centuries. POC is widely used as an umbrella term. BIPOC stands for Black Indigenous People of Color.
Oh, okay.
So that just further segregates the POC, right?
Yeah, that's Black and Indigenous, or is it Black
Yeah.
Indigenous?
So here's
What's
the
the
new pigeonhole,
difference?
folks. Yeah.
I think Ancient Zero in the chat.
Black
there-
Indigenous.
Oh,
People of
Black,
color.
Indigenous, and people of color. Oh
Isn't
my
that all
gosh,
just
we're
color?
just, we're
I
just
don't get
yeah.
it.
Isn't all
That
just
would be
people?
BIPOC.
You know what it is? You know what it is?
Yeah, Black
This
Indigenous.
is the same.
That's a new pigeonhole.
Because they realized people of color was just the woke
Right,
version of
or-
colored people.
Bisexual. Yeah.
That's
what
what they
it is.
realized, that because we're like, guys, you realize what you're saying is not right. Like my old racist aunt used to call them color people, right? You're just saying it in reverse, like you're freaking Yoda or some crap.
Yeah,
You're like,
these-
oh, well, we
My
gotta
dad
change it,
used to
not
call
BIPOC.
it. Anyway. Yeah.
They even call it for segregation now. Like it's these folks are ridiculous.
That's what it is. It's another pigeonhole. Yeah.
Further segregation.
Where were we? She said that a separate case will be discontinued. That Seeger concluded by reiterating the company's commitment to BIPOC and Alphabet Plus creators.
Well, you know what this is? This is the laws of
Great.
intersectionality at play, right?
Mhm.
They're all people of color, right? But no. I need more check bar. I need to be more of a victim. I need to be more of the oppressed. What makes me more oppressed? Because I'm this and also this, and I'm that and this.
Oh, they used
This
to
is all
separate
just
them.
Marxism. It's
Yeah.
Marxist theology that has worked its way into our culture. And when you point that out, they just call you an ist and a phobe. I mean,
They used to separate them by armbands.
they did. You know, and right now,
Now
Nazis
everybody's
and the
gonna
left
start.
wing sound a lot alike.
Everybody's gonna start wearing a badge now that has their melanin levels on it.
Mhm.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
a race to the
It's
bottom.
coming. You know,
Well,
it's
think
coming.
about all of these pro-Palestinian people that are standing up.
Yeah.
When they're supporting Palestine, Palestine voted for it. Wasn't like Hamas came in and took rule without the Palestinian people knowing about it. The Palestinian people went to a voter's box and they decided that they wanted Hamas and Hezbollah to be in charge. They chose that. They wanted it. They decided for it. So when you say that you're supporting the Palestinian people, yes, there are people that might disagree with it now. But if they're in that area and they try to disagree, none of them will speak out against Hamas. And we see what Hamas does. They don't even care about their own people. They are murderous, subhuman in their behavior kind of people. They don't care about human life. They don't care about the sanctity of life. They're a terrorist of the worst kind. And these people that go and do these pro-Palestinian things, all they're trying to do is promote violence, and they're wanting to justify their anti-Semitism.
What bothers me about this whole situation is I think people on all sides, right? Like Palestine, Israel, everybody supporting either side should call for peace. I think peace is the only answer, and de-escalation, right? Because it doesn't matter about any of that
They
stuff
voted them in properly.
or,
No.
or anybody's
necessarily.
ideology if we're all nuke to crap in a nuclear wasteland because this escalates to World War III. To get the like nobody wants that. Just call for peace. Just let it go. Try to get back to not killing each other. I don't know.
It's villain said I had to find a BIPOC mural in Spider-Man 2. Luckily, Miles' deaf girlfriend knew exactly what it was. It's true that they might not have been voted in properly. So
it is kind of a thug mentality.
But let's
terrorist
let's
organizations.
Let's just assume that the left is right and Hamas and the Palestinian people are free and just simply oppressed. If that is the case, then yes, they voted them in fairly. And yes, Hamas decided to drop in with parachutes and kill innocent people and take babies from their cribs. That's what happened.
Monsters.
That's what happened. And the left wants to ignore it. The left all over our globe wants to ignore it. It is disgusting.
Yep.
It is disgusting what's happening out there.
I think it's a very dangerous.
It's coming.
It's a very dangerous game that people are playing.
It does not excuse.
Oh yeah, it is.
And we're like,
doesn't exist in Western ignorance. Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's some existential dread there. Just talking about them.
Let's move on to some better things. Yeah, let's move on. Global Comics. We've heard about these guys.
Terror is terror.
This is actually the website. So the digital comic platform Global Comics, which raised $6.5 million in venture capital. You know what? That's called a good start. Where I'm coming from, that's a real good start.
That's that old adage. How do you make $1 million in comics?
Start with 4.
Start with 6.5. Apparently,
start with 6.5.
Global Comics, digital comics platform Global Comics, which raised $6.5 million in venture capital funding that earlier this year, has released its first comics apps for iOS and Android phones and tablets. The platform runs on a subscription model and offers over 45,000 titles from Image Boom Studios and other publishers. The app allows users to search across various criteria, including genres, themes, and art style, and to read comics in vertical scroll, single page, or double page formats. And other digital comics news, the subscription webtoon platform Manta announced the appointment of Travis Kim as its CEO, a newly created position within the company. Kim will report directly to Kasich B, the founder of Manta's parent company, RIDI Corporation. He has an MBA from the MIT Sloan School of Management, and he comes to Manta from the Korean startup Class 101, where he was chief product officer. Unlike most webtoon platforms, Manta uses a subscription model.
Can I interrupt for a sec there?
Please do.
What do you guys think about like a subscription thing for like FMC if an app was created that people could
we have an app. We just haven't branded it yet.
Oh, okay. So it's in the works. Maybe.
Yeah, we have an app. We haven't released it yet.
One step at a time.
Yeah, we're working on a couple of other things. We got a new guy, Frederick Guimont, who is joining us from Canada, another Canadian, who is working with our developers to gain access to certain aspects of our code so that he can do some CSV editing. And so he's going to be doing some front end kind of look and feel and atmospheric stuff. So adding some neat animations to some things and stuff that we would like to have done. So great guy, met with him. So I think once we get past that, then we'll start working on the app. Get the app released. It's going to be an Android app. It's not going to be available for Apple just quite yet. Yeah.
Well, right? So
Agent.
Well, it's developed. We just got to brand it. We could actually, if we just, buckled down and did the branding for it and everything, we can actually load it up probably, and have it up on the market and, marketplace in a couple of weeks. So
something to look forward to at least in 2024 then.
Yeah. We want to make it kind of our 2024 push.
Agent Zero says, pretty sure freckles are made of melanin. John Epple, is that why they call them pock marks? Just asking.
They are melanin. Yeah.
Thank God Travis is here.
Yeah. What would we do without Travis?
So I'm special after all. We're all special, John. Tank Ferret. I joke. I don't have freckles. Just soul trying to manifest itself. Yeah.
Don't fool yourself. Gingers don't have a soul. Yeah. There's only two things we can discriminate against. Well, three now. Gingers, white straight men, and now Jews. Yeah. It is okay to be, if you are an American left, it is okay to be anti-Semitic, apparently.
Pock marks are from chicken pox. IRC.
Such a ridiculous thing over there too, where they're like, "Oh, it's this or it's the specific group from this particular." Just shut up! You're all prejudice assholes. Just
I can't stand it, man. It drives me crazy. I don't like racism of any kind, and so when I do see it, I'm like, there it is.
I really liked Trump's response when he was asked about the war in Ukraine. He just kept telling the reporter, "I just want people to stop dying."
Yes.
I just want people to stop dying.
Thank you. Yes.
That's my attitude. I just want people to stop dying.
It's like the big guy on the Green Mile.
Yeah.
I'm mostly
tired. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
He's like, I'm mostly just tired of people being ugly to each other.
Yep. And I fully embraced my gingerness. Yes.
I like redheads. I don't know about you gentlemen, but
short people.
I do. Yeah. I don't mind
and short people. Russ says, "Wow, I wouldn't want a pressure of being a cis ginger Jewish person." No.
Boy, you'd be in a lot of trouble.
It'd be a lot of trouble. Pro world according to Greep. It's time for Steve Jeppy to merge Diamond and Alliance. Will the loss of Diamond publisher clients be the push he needed?
So I no longer register because I don't want to give them more money anymore.
Pay us. We need money.
Pay us. But I thought this was an interesting headline.
It's important.
The game distributor and the comic distributor. That now they're like, well, they own both.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time, so they're like, it's time to merge these two.
Well,
what's it telling you about the comic book industry? We've had
Go ahead.
We had 3 closings and we had 4 open.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Comic book shops closing, game stores opening. Now we're saying Diamond Comics distributors needs to merge with Alliance Game Distributors. That these two companies need to merge. I think a lot of these specialty comic shops, the ones that are still open, it's because they already have games in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there might be a resurgence of tabletop games getting more popular and stuff with I was talked about earlier, the advent of the Baldur's Gate video games and stuff like that. A lot of people are looking back towards Wizards of the Coast products.
I think you're seeing an upsurgence in games, if there is one right now, because all the rest of the entertainment has dropped through the floor.
Yeah,
and
but
they haven't rediscovered independent comics yet.
But even the games, though, a lot of them are crap too. Like but again, who knows? Who can say? But
they're going to go around and fish around, especially tabletop games where you can play them yourself, and change the rules at home if you need to. But right now, that question that you asked in the previous article about the two of them merging, you will know when they merge, because there'll be such a great tax write-off for Jeppy to shut one of those companies down. And all he'll do is just merge it like Diamond with Alliance. So you'll end up having Alliance gaming and comics distributors.
Yeah.
Because the Alliance brand right now is probably a lot more stronger than Diamond is.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would agree
Diamond's
with that.
Getting a really bad reputation. And that the branding on that is not quite Bud Light levels within the industry, but it's getting really close. Really close.
So this article, I think, when I first saw it on ICB2, I was like wondering what the heck are they talking about home video for on this. But I think as I read it, I kind of got like what they're saying. So we understand streaming. Well, let's first talk about music. So when they started streaming music, and they told the artist that, well, when you stream, you're going to get more money. There's more impressions. You're going to get a greater reach. But did you know that you can sell 200 CDs and make more than like having like 5 million streams?
Yeah.
Yep. It's ridiculous the amount of, I mean, it's pennies, like fractions of a penny that you get for a stream.
Yep.
On music. So people aren't, I mean, they're buying digital albums. I don't own a CD. I don't know anyone that does, but indie artists are still doing CDs. But I mean, when was the last time you went to a store and bought a CD?
Oh, it's been years.
Ask yourself that, right?
Yeah.
But have you bought new music?
No. I haven't.
Right?
The wife has. The wife's got her little Apple because she needs it for work.
Right? So she bought new music, right?
Yeah.
If you want to listen to new music, what do? You listen to a radio station or iTunes or something, right?
I'm kind of irrelevant to this topic because like I just pick up a guitar, you know.
I think something that surprised me is you're seeing an upswing in local radio stations and listenership. That's starting to happen, and there's no way to really logically show ratings on that because you don't know.
And they don't all play mainstream music.
Like for example,
they'll play regional stuff too.
My daughter's got a little clip collection of CDs on her visor that she never uses anymore because she listens to the local radio station because the local radio station just opened up their playlist pretty massively. I think they're playing, instead of doing top 40, they're playing 150 or 200 different songs on a rotation, and it's all really good. A wide variety of quality music, surprisingly. I think you're seeing a lot more radio stations turn that way, though the radio stations are still corporate and syndicated. There's only about 3 or 4 different conglomerates of stations. Finding a little independent station is extremely rare anymore.
Yep.
If any of them exist. But you're seeing an upsurge in radio listeners.
Well, you're seeing something happening right now with home video. So it started out with Netflix, and then it went to streaming services. And now Best Buy is going to be doing away with a home video section.
Which is sad, because that used to be the only reason I'd go into Best Buy.
Yeah.
Remember back when, and it wasn't even that long ago, less than 10, say maybe 10 years ago at most, where we used to know every Tuesday when the new releases were coming out.
Well, think about this. Over the last 10 years, think about the size of those sections in most of the retail stores.
Yeah.
It used to be aisles, and now it's down to aisle.
Isn't this kind of like a sort of just slightly dystopian thing? Because we're getting rid of all this physical media, right? It is very, very easy for all that media to suddenly change or
go away,
disappear or be edited out and like something slightly offensive.
And so we've talked about comic book shops closing, game stores opening, and then we're talking about digital formats over here, right? And how the digital is growing.
Yeah.
And then we're hit with we're hit with Diamond needs to merge with Alliance or whatever. And now we're hit with home videos. It has to make us think about the future of the physical comic book medium.
Well, they're just talking about the app too. I mean, like digital is the future. People are going to be more and more using, as the technology gets better and more accessible across the board. New stuff comes out, like ease of use, more places, and more proliferation, I guess, of the products. We're going to see more and more digital stuff.
Yep.
I don't think you're ever going to see the time when media doesn't have some sort of physical component to it, because people still want to collect and hoard.
Some people do. In fact, right now, I mean, Agent Zero was complaining that, there's a movie that he wants to own the physical. He doesn't want to have to have a subscription plan to go watch this movie. Whenever he wants to go watch it, he wants to buy the physical version.
Right.
And some studios have no intent on ever releasing things physically.
Nope.
And I'm seeing that there's comic book creators that are going to that extent as well. I just approved a campaign on Fun My Comic that is a digital only version of a comic book. And that if they raise a certain number, if they raise a certain amount of money, they'll go to print, but they're releasing a digital comic book. It's an interesting place that we're in. And I think that we need to keep our eyes peeled on it. So it says the landscape of home video is changing rapidly, with major retailers cutting back or eliminating the category. The most recent announcements were from Best Buy, Target, and Netflix. Best Buy, which championed the new DVD format in the 90s and continued to sell disc through Blu-ray and 4K Ultra HD eras, will stop selling disc in its over 1,000 stores and online beginning early next year, according to Variety. Not only was Best Buy a major retailer in the category, it was also home to frequent retailers' exclusives, features, collectors focused on options. Meanwhile, Target is cutting back the DVD and Blu-ray space in its stores, perhaps a final reduction before eliminating the category entirely, according to Media Play News. And Netflix also dropped its Red Envelope DVD service as of the end of September. And the company announced Netflix was founded as a disc rental service.
Oh, yeah.
Subscription replacing per disc fees, and had been shipping them for the past 25 years.
25 years.
And again, so this went from a per disc to a subscription. You're seeing people go from a per comic to a subscription. I think we're seeing a similar trend in our market. And I think the ones of us that are prepared for it are going to be the ones that are going to be successful. I'm afraid that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get caught in there's always going to be physical media. I think there might always be a comic book, but I think the majority of our buyers are probably going to go physical. Go digital. I think we need to be prepared for that possibility. I really do. These three recent changes come in the wake of other moves over the past 12 months, including Ingram Entertainment exiting the business on the wholesale level in September, and Walmart cutting disc space by 20% last fall. The market for physical home media has shrunk from $24 billion in 2006 to a little over $2 billion last year, according to the report, in the same range as the comics and hobby games markets.
Well, the number of releases is shrinking. It's clear that there remains a market of consumers, including collectors, for physical home media. At one time, geek culture stores, including comic stores, frequently sold DVDs, including superhero, science fiction, horror, and anime, and other animation fare. Most left the business after unrelenting price competition from mass merchants and Amazon. With a lot less competition, we wonder whether the independent retailers could once again profitably offer DVDs and Blu-ray, focusing on the genre and collectible sides of the business. Developing.
It's possible. It's possible that you could see. I think if anything, it's going to be anime. I mean, that's where I used to get my anime.
I think
the local comic book shop.
The one thing that's really sprung up the last, within like the last 10 years, are the used media shops. Because these kids don't want to keep the stuff, and there's still collectors for that material out there. So you're having these 8 to 10,000 square foot stores suddenly spring up, Media Replay and Media Play, that kind of stuff, where they're offering collections, good quality DVDs. You know, the box might have a corner beat up here or there at an incredibly lower price. So the only problem with that is any time you go to hunt down specific movies, like I've been trying to get the first Doctor Strange movie on DVD for a long time. It took forever to find it. You have to haunt these places until somebody turns it in, and you're lucky enough to catch it, just after it goes out to the store shelves. But anime, next to impossible. At least the good stuff. You'll find a lot of the second and third rate anime collections out there, but nothing, and none of the big guys in physical media are at these shops. And if they ever get it in, they have a list of buddies or whoever that they call up and say, hey, we just got, Attack on Titan Volume 5 in or whatever. And if you want it, come and get it, that kind of thing. But a lot of these shops are also carrying collections, graphic novels and manga collections that are used from these kids and offer them at decent rates. So anyway, modern comics increase in value on speculator market. Not as good reading.
Basically, the gist of this article is these books are increasing in value based off of speculation of what the future is going to hold for them, not based on their story content or anything like that.
Dazzler 1, they announced that, there's rumor that Taylor Swift was going to be in Deadpool 3 as Dazzler. So,
yeah.
Momoa still wants to be Lobo, even though it should be Danny Trejo, but that's my opinion.
Danny Trejo would be pretty good, yeah.
Danny Trejo.
I don't know. Yeah, I think Momoa would be all right at that too.
Then they're going to have Johnny Depp play Aquaman. That's a whole other story.
That'd be fun.
The Visigoths, they're at the gate.
But in comics, it's entertainment biz.
Boom, boom, boom.
Americans cut back on amusement.
Yeah, duh.
The cheap cost of fun in America has been destroyed by U.S. President Joe Biden's Bidenomics.
Yeah, guess what? When grocery prices triple, things have to suffer. Yeah.
Yeah. According to the recent survey of 1,000 people done by the Wall Street Journal and Credit Karma, nearly 60% of Americans are reducing their spending on live entertainment due to skyrocketing costs for amusement parks, rock concerts, and the performing arts.
They just called these people up and they answered their phone thinking that they were spam. Yeah.
Well, you know what works is we just had this front porch festival here in this small town I'm living in, right?
Cool.
They organized this and there was local artists every 45 minutes on a different porch within walking distance. And man, it was 2 days of fun.
Cool.
It was nice. Heard a bunch of covers, saw some live performances, some better than others.
Yeah.
But still all very good, all very fun. I tabled at the art section, didn't really sell anything, but I was able to demo my art and show off what I was working on. So people became aware of, hey, there's this comic book artist that lives, in town, and it was nice.
Cool.
I think you're going to see places do that, and unfortunately, these big cities, that's not going to happen. So you're going to see like free festivals and free concerts probably be more attended than I think formerly.
Sorry, Pedro. Pedro says, hey, guys, I'd join you today, but I'm bedridden. Hurt my back yesterday. Sorry to hear that, buddy. Hope you feel better real soon, man.
Yeah, get better soon, man.
Says, I wonder if physical media for movies is ever going down because they're not worth rewatching. Yeah.
That's part of it, probably.
That is a major part of it.
Again, we have to consider the content.
Yep.
The phenomenon has been termed funflation by one analyst, and is the most recent indication that President Joe Biden's economic policies are crushing American homes. Approximately 26% of those who responded to the study stated they don't pay any money at all for live entertainment, up from 16% prior to the epidemic. As David Ng reports at Breitbart, the phenomenon is being dubbed funflation and is the latest sign families are being oppressed by Biden's economic failures. The cost of admission and fees rose faster than the prices of food, gasoline, and other necessities in 2022, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumers Expenditure Survey.
What site are you on here?
I'm on Bleeding Fool.
Okay.
Disney's theme parks are feeling the effects of sour economy. Before the pandemic, Julie Gibbs, a 52-year-old mother who works in university administration in Indiana, traveled to Walt Disney World in Orlando twice. Most years. Sometimes her extended family would gather at the resort and in its theme parks for special occasions, according to the Journal. But with Disney hiking prices to astronomical levels, she and her family are opting to gather at a condo in the beach town of Destin, Florida, thereby spending about half of the typical $6,000 price tag of the previous Disney trips. With Disney, They have their hands out and they just want more and more from me. And I hate that feeling, she
Yep.
told the newspaper. Bank of America analyst Jessica Reif Ehrlich, used the
Ehrlich.
term funflation in a recent investor note. Anything live, anything experiential is just going through the roof, she wrote. The report goes on to add that even the cost of concert tickets for well-known artists has also gotten out of control, adding that tickets for Taylor Swift were going as high as $5,000, which is the same as Bruce Springsteen tickets prices for his upcoming tour, which have also soared as high as $5,000. Taylor Swift tweets here, after stoking the fires of white supremacy and racism your entire presidency, you have the nerve to feign moral superiority before threatening violence. When the shooting starts. We will vote you out in November. At real Donald Trump. That was fun.
Didn't she make a song about
after
like
stoking the fires of white supremacy and racism your entire presidency, you have the nerve to feign moral superiority before threatening violence?
Did she make a song
Who is
about
she talking about there?
Biden?
Donald Trump.
Like,
Both Taylor Swift and Bruce Springsteen are well-known anti-Trumpers.
I must have missed those memos.
Springsteen is a political activist who endorsed Joe Biden during the 2020 presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and their concerts are selling out at $5,000 a piece. Did you hear that a KFC somewhere made the Taylor Swift meal? You know, a special meal. You could order the Taylor Swift, which was two skinny legs.
Mm-hmm.
Two small breasts and a left wing.
Yeah. Jesus. For $500.
She made it. I was just saying, like, it's laughable because she made like this song about Joe Biden where she's like, it's okay that he's a bit touchy or something. If I remember correctly.
Oh, that's not right.
I don't.
It's messed up. It's completely like, because you listen to it and it's just like, it's creepy as crap, but he's like hand waving it away. Like it's okay. And it's like, he's a creeper. Stop covering for it.
So Pedro says Danny Trejo is 70 years old. Danny Trejo is timeless, dude.
The SAG-AFTRA organization has instructed its
easy. Anyway, go ahead.
The SAG-AFTRA organization has instructed its members on strike to celebrate Halloween this year, while also staying in solidarity with the ongoing labor dispute, and has forbidden union performers from donning any costumes resembling characters from non-struck content, like the animated TV show.
You can celebrate Halloween, but you have to celebrate Halloween with the correct costume.
Well, on its website, SAG-AFTRA shared an article, since removed but archived here.
Whoops.
With tips on how its members should conduct themselves during yearly Halloween celebrations.
Nanny being too much of a nanny. That's what it is.
This Halloween, we wanted to make sure our members don't inadvertently break strike rules.
Oh, no.
To put together some quick tips on the do's and don'ts for costumes. Check them out and have a spectacular Halloween.
You have to make sure your ghost has a separate hood. That's what it is. Anyway.
Look at this. Look at the dress up as characters from non-struck content.
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Can you scroll down?
Make Halloween a scream with the SAG-AFTRA strike friendly tips. If you're looking for guidance on how to celebrate Halloween this year while also staying in solidarity with the TAV theatrical streaming strike, you've come to the right place. Choose costumes inspired by generalized characters and figures, ghosts, zombies, spiders, etc. this Halloween. Don't post photos of costumes inspired by struck content to social media. Dress up as characters from non-struck content like an animated TV show. Go as One Piece.
Yeah. There we go.
We're living in a nanny state, folks. Do we not realize that? Anyway,
that's is blaming Biden as BS. This all has to do with those pandemic stimulus checks while Trump was in office. How funny. All of us. DC's guilty. Yeah.
Bleeding Fool also asks, is this the dawn of the Iron Age?
Biden's economic policies are mirroring Obama's, which miserably slowed economic growth. Now, I don't know about that. Previous admin, they're worse. They're much worse than Biden's or than Obama's. Biden, the economy under Biden wasn't at nearly as bad as this. It was bad, but it wasn't nearly as bad
Obama?
as this. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Did I say Biden?
Yeah,
Biden's policies under Biden are horrible. But anyway, Biden's policies and Obama's policies weren't that bad. He actually drove the price of gas down and kind of screwed with all of the gas making countries because he allowed drilling in the plains. So that Biden shut down as soon as he got into office.
Am I the only one that thinks Bruce Springsteen's not a good singer?
I'm spending that much to hear Born to Run.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think Bruce Springsteen is a good singer.
He's not a favorite of mine, but
and his music is okay. Just okay. Not great.
He has his, flashes. Nothing recent though. Previous post death cult.
They just voted in a new speaker of the House that wants to give her money away. They all want to give her money away. They're all the same thing. The left wing, the right wing, they're all the same. They're all
got in.
Dodo bird, man.
Yeah. Same bird.
It's bad.
I'm starting to think Taylor Swift might be slightly retarded.
She might.
I think she's bought and paid for.
That'll get us
bought and paid for.
Because Glory Days was. Yeah, go ahead.
That was just like obviously some sort of like a contract obligation to say certain things or something like NDA. I don't know.
Toe the line, folks. Toe the line. A previous
like the UFC. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Having to pick up the
A previous post on the death cult's conquest of pop culture occasioned much comment about where indie creators, in particular new pub authors, go next. A common refrain among the commentary. Man, what a word. Commentariat. That was hard. Why was that hard word?
Where are you at? Commentariat. Yeah.
New counterculture movement.
Somebody trying to sound smart here. This is funny. Is this off a Bleeding Fool again?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah, this is Brian Nemier.
Get yourself a thesaurus. Here we go. Yeah.
So, but before we rush to judgment, what is the Iron Age, and how do its adherents plan to counteract the death cult?
Don't try it. Just move along.
Here's author John A. Douglas.
I put that in there on purpose so that people wouldn't read it on their own podcast. That's what it is. Yeah. The Iron Age is the product of moving away from the undead IPs, and authenticity and genuineness is the gold standard we trade in.
John A. Douglas, we see him on our chats, my friend.
He's a cool dude.
He's a cool dude.
Chill.
For a more thorough examination, watch this Iron Age video below. Oh, watch this Iron Age video now.
This is John. He's got a 9-minute video about what is the Iron Age, so he'll explain it for you.
Should leave that link in the chat.
Yep. Let me copy that link here.
Because we would probably get struck. I don't know if John.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think John would complain. I think John wouldn't mind us playing that or sharing that video. But I'm just going to go ahead and put it there just to be safe. So the Iron Age, man, this is kind of a new thing that's happening. It's already started. We've been talking about it a lot. We've been using the hashtag around here. People, like, what is the Iron Age anyway? It's whatever. And age just describes, we talk about the golden age of comic books, the earliest parts. Then we have the Silver Age and the Bronze Age. And then we just have the shit age.
Poop age. Yeah.
Did I say that out loud? I didn't. That was an internal monologue. I'm sorry. But now I believe, we're entering into this new,
that'll be an actual age.
I think a year ago is when I started saying that we are entering a renaissance of comic books and games and storytelling.
I think it's been it was pre-pandemic, 3 or 4 years before that. Just as the green and the blue, the green and the pink platforms started springing up.
Oh yeah. I can't remember how long it's been. I was saying there's a renaissance that's been forming, but it's happening within the independent realm. And so that, it's quite interesting. So this whole Iron Age movement is actually, so today I titled, We Might Be Living in an or Else World and the the Age of Iron.
Mm-hmm.
So this next article, guys, is from Bounding into Comics. And John F. Trent wrote this on October 9th. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Tim Sheridan went on a block rampage.
Thanks.
Several days ago on Twitter. And I didn't even know what it was. And everyone was like, I got banned. And so basically Tim Sheridan wrote an Alan Scott story, The Green Lantern, but it's him as a gay man, trying to come out as a.
Oh, they've had that version of Green Lantern gay for the last 10 or so years. The Earth 2 series DC did some years back had him as a gay man.
Yeah, it was an Elseworld kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, well, now it's canon. It's what they want to do.
That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. So basically what he did is he went on there and he said, this is my story. And if you do not buy this comic book, you are comics gay.
And it's not the fact that of his sexual preference, which is offensive, because this character has been around since the Golden Age, and you don't need to change characters like that. Just make new ones. But the thing that he really did that I find truly offensive is that they've got J. Edgar Hoover pretty much blackmailing him to expose his gayness if he doesn't join the Justice Society, and that's truly offensive.
That is offensive.
Can I use the one F-bomb?
Go for it, man.
Fuck him right in the nostril. There you go.
There we go. Good use of our one F-bomb. So,
this is all part of that effort in order to demoralize and take away the concept of the hero out of comics, and that's what superheroes are all about. That's why you're seeing all this so-called deconstructionism. It's actually the pooping on the entire concept of a superhero or a hero in general.
Here's the scene that you're talking about. So there's a scene in there where he is in bed with his boyfriend, and they decide to film it or take pictures of it because that's what you do. And so in this situation, as you can see, I'm a real believer in photographic evidence, says J. Edgar Hoover. I told you, I get what I want. Oh, also, we're having a little get together in Forest Hills this weekend. You'll come, Clyde. You'll come. Clyde will give you the details on your way out. And Alan, bring the combat boots, if they still fit. J. Edgar Hoover blackmails him into joining the JLA. Super offensive, right?
Totally.
But here's what he says. Okay, so first off, I was not going to buy this book. You know why? I don't like Green Lantern.
Oh.
I never have. I don't like Flash either. I don't care for most of DC characters. Their stories tend to be better than some of the Marvel books, but I've never cared for these Golden Age characters. They're weak. He was allergic to wood.
Now, what makes wouldn't that weakness though make them a more fascinating character?
Not when it's freaking wood.
But he is that's part of the irony and the just the bitterness out of turning this character gay. Is that his weakness was wood,
and now he's taken wood.
An inside joke. Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
So here's what Tim Sheridan says for you. Innocents wondering what CG is. So basically what he says is like, look, if you don't buy my book, his actually did this video. Comic friends, queer friends, allies need your help. Please share this and let's work together to deliver CG a big L. He provoked this one. Like no one we're like, what are you talking about? We didn't know what are you talking about? People were either going to buy or not buy this book. We've known about it for a while.
Well, he's trying to get political so that he gets a little bit of profit.
So he can
sharing. He thinks he's going to get some profit sharing. It just doesn't happen in comics anymore.
So here's what's really funny about this. Like they're finally resorting to these tactics.
Yeah.
That like, oh, well, the shame tactic. Apparently, he thinks that this book's not going to do well, right? So if this book isn't going to do well, then I've got to create some controversy and some scapegoat on why it's not going to do well. It's not going to do well because of the bigots, not because no one cares about a gay love story with Alan Scott. Who cares, right? But he basically says, if you don't buy it,
he's not allergic to wood anymore.
It's like, if you don't buy it, you're Comicsgate, right? So, first off, not everybody knows what Comicsgate is, right? So he has to go in and explain it for people. For you innocents wondering what CG is, they're a hate group of misogynist, queerphobic, racist,
they're a hateful group
who actively work to take down comics with any hint of diversity. We just don't buy them.
They deserve a big loss.
Comics, they just don't buy them. They just don't buy those books. They're not actively trying to take them down. They just don't give them money. They don't care if you make them. They do get upset that you make them with characters that they loved. But they're not actively taking anybody down. So basically, he's trying to shame you into buying his book. Buy this based on the fact that it's queer.
Not just that, but he feels that his readership, the people that follow him on X or Twitter or whatever, don't understand him. So he has to condescend to them to explain, this is what I meant by CG. This is what I meant by L.
How is that different than Eric July? Buy my book to own the libs.
Yeah.
Because that's their complaint, right?
Well, that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah. That's part of what he's trying to do. That was part of his sales tactic, and it's worked. And for there are several in Comicsgate that do that. Buy my book to own the libs. I don't believe that's a very strong sales tactic at all. In fact, I think it
won't last long. Yeah.
No, but I think that this falls under that same buy my book to own the right wingers.
Yeah.
Right. What is the difference here? And it's all very. It's all very weak based on a guy like he literally starts a fight just to try to sell this book. And I don't think it's going to work, but we've literally come to a place where comic books and mainstream professionals, DC Comics, who has not said anything about him doing this, who has not come out and said anything against it. So they must condone this behavior, is now a buy this book or else. Buy our book or else you're a hate group. Buy this book or else we'll make you, we'll shame you. We are living in an or else world now, my friends.
In my opinion, this is a prime example of the talent. So, and I use air quotes there, talent that are working in these corporate comics right now because they're mushroom. They're sit in the dark and they're fed a bunch of crap. Because anybody with any type of marketing sense who's barely watching the news is familiar with the Bud Light fiasco. And here he's playing right into the negative aspects of that entire marketing debacle. And you have to sit there and ask yourself why. What does he think to get out of this? Outside of a little bit of virtue signaling, it's not going to up its sales. It's going to be the exact opposite. He just wants to be noticed. He's put out a couple of dig me posts. Help me, I'm a victim. That isn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And he should know. Well, he should know better, but he works in corporate comics, so he doesn't know better.
So he just keeps going. And look, I the only reason I'm bringing it up is because it's in comics. It's comic book news.
Yeah.
This is what we talk about, and it's ridiculous what we're dealing with over here right now. It just absolutely.
Well, corporate comics have been ridiculous for the last, 5-6 years, ever since they got in there and started screwing with the idea of hero.
Well, they did this to begin with. It was like, well, when they stopped, when this Comicsgate movement, they created the Comicsgate movement, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
When those customers stopped buying the books, they called them Comicsgate.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, they said if you don't buy my book, you're a bigot."
Mm-hmm.
They've been saying this from
that was after they said, "Don't if you don't like my
2016.
politics, don't buy my book."
Yeah, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book.
So people
Well, I
stop
didn't buy
buying
your
their book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people stopped buying because of their politics. Some people stopped buying because the books weren't any good.
Like,
but they lumped them all in the same group.
Hand in
Well, if
hand.
you don't buy them, then that means you're a bigot. Because if you don't like my politics, you clearly are a bigot if you don't like my politics. We live in a society where people think a political view is binary.
Yeah.
That it's left or right. That, no, it's impossible that someone could fall at different points on the issues that don't span a red or a blue, that someone could be chartreuse or someone could be pink or someone could be purple, in their viewpoints. It is belittling to critical thinking. In fact, we talked about this last week. Schools are not teaching critical thinking anymore.
Nope.
And
any kind of individual thinking. Yeah.
And so we're seeing this. And when we said that that's what was going on and that they effectively control the media in comic book news, so they're labeling this group of customers as something that they're not. And now finally Tim Sheridan just comes out and says, if you don't buy this book, not that CG's not going to buy this book, but he says, if you don't buy this book, you're Comicsgate. And in case you don't know what Comicsgate is, it's a hate group. So you have to buy my book or else you're a hate group. You're in a hate group.
Pure hubris.
Pure stupidity. He's got his head up his ass.
Yeah. So just a new level of narcissism.
I do like that. You're not a bigot for disagreeing with it. You're just wrong.
Yeah. If I was Jim Lee, I'd have called it. I'd have got him on the phone, asked him what the hell was he thinking.
Maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe they didn't.
I doubt that they did. I don't think they care up there. I don't think they give a crap about anything that they do up there anymore. The corporate, all they're interested in is whether or not that emblem can sell the next set of underoos.
I don't think Ripa used the words "buy this book" to own the libs, but he used that sentiment. And I can say that as a fan of Ripa. Followed him for a long time. Been a subscriber of his since 2016. Okay. So I've followed him for a very long time because he did that was when I started becoming a libertarian. He was a big voice in me becoming a libertarian, by the way. And the sentiment was there. We're creating a comic book to counteract what they're doing. And that is the sentiment that a lot of people do. Their sales pitch is support me because I'm not them. And I just don't think that tactic works very well.
Yeah.
I think it works for a minute. But it doesn't work long term.
Yeah, maybe.
I actually had a very long conversation with an individual who was trying to do a campaign, and they pitched their whole book series based on the fact that they weren't the mainstream, and that the mainstream was bad, and they weren't the mainstream. So you need to give me $20,000 to start my comic book company. And so, people they're not giving money for that tactic really anymore, especially to someone they don't know. You'd have to build an audience to be able to make that work. Why don't you try convincing us that your comic books are good? Because right now you're seeing a huge backlash that Eric is having to deal with, where people are like, your comic book, you made all this money, but it's not any better than the mainstream. We're having issues. Like, the quality of the storytelling just isn't as good as what we expected it to be. Right. And I mean, I'm not trying to, bash Ripper or anything like that.
Well, you're never going to be.
The point is he's dealing with that right now.
Yeah, you're never
right.
But the thing that I've seen him dealing with are all these people that are on a hate wagon that are going around intentionally trying to cripple his business.
Well, there are people doing that. Absolutely, there are people doing that. But there are also customers out there that have legitimate critique that are being ignored.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
That are being ignored.
Well, maybe not ignored per se. He did bring on Dixon, right?
And Mike Barron, yes.
And he's
Yeah, so,
I was
like,
going
he
to
is
say
listening.
he knows where his faults lie, and he's correcting them, and he should be thanked and congratulated for that.
Well, he
I
did
hope he
correct
does
him
it
fast
fast
enough.
I hope he does it fast enough in order to keep his
Yeah.
empire. I really
I
do.
think he'll
Stop
do
being a
fine.
detractor. Yeah, but any criticism that I had as a customer, I'm a detractor now, and I'm not a detractor. I want him to win. I want it to go. And quite honestly, some people, another person who was probably a customer, his ego's created the haters. Ego usually does create the haters in a lot of these things. And I mean, you have to be, but again, Tim Sheridan, ego, creating haters. I didn't even know who Tim Sheridan was until last week.
Well, see, that's part of the reason he did this, was to virtue signal, to stand up there and beat his chest, attention whore a little bit, and get that attention so that you'll know who he is. Now you also know there's a Green Lantern book out there now.
Well, I knew there was a Green Lantern
he's
book. I
not
was never going to
trying
buy it.
I have an alternative theory here. Maybe he's not trying to sell his book. Maybe he's trying to get another job.
He's trying to sell himself, yeah, and trying to look like the victim.
Well, like, if you think about it, if his stuff is failing or it's not working out so well, if he does these, woke, statements and stuff like that, that puts him in a position for another organization to hire him to do something else for, like, he can write for Netflix or some nonsense.
Yeah.
So, like, nobody wants to learn from simple marketing, like with the Bud Light fiasco,
So yesterday we had Von Klaus launch on Fund My Comic. He's already funded 32 backers over there, $1,800 raised in 21 hours. He is also on the Pink site. We're not going to talk about that one. We're just going to talk about this one for a little bit. Let's watch this trailer, guys, because you know what? We've given a lot of credence to some of these other negative stories. But quite honestly, we have a lot of good things going on with Fund My Comic. You might also know that other people are trying to spring up their own comic book crowdfunding websites. We have got a little bit of head start on them. And I think, what I don't understand is, I don't know how they're going to beat our platform fee. And I don't know how they're going to beat our tech. Those are two things I don't understand how they're going to beat.
Are there other new platforms springing up?
You're first in best dressed,
what?
Right? I was saying you're first in best dressed.
First in best dressed. So right here, Champion This Project is a new website that's coming up.
Seems silly.
Yeah, it does.
They're not taking a look at the trailer?
They're hiring somebody for, we're going to look at the trailer. I was just kind of showing this is what they're looking for. This is their website. It looks, fantastic. That's kind of a big name. Champion This Project. Collect the profits. CTP. You can create an account. Look at that. Projects, all projects. They don't have any projects up there yet. They're doing a contest. They're actually hiring for an artist to do the banner for them. And so, so they're.
I'm sure it pays exposure too, doesn't it?
No, $1,100. These people know about Fund My Comic. They know about it. Like, I'm not sour. It just breeds competition. It makes us want to do better over here. And you know what? Speaking of doing better, we are doing fantastic over here. Things are growing every day. Check out this trailer. This is a great project.
No sound.
You don't have sound?
No sound.
You guys can't hear that?
Nope. Whiskey, can you hear that? Are you there? Whiskey's not alive. You had to step out for a minute.
Hold on, let me fix it.
You had to go feed the chickens.
Oh, you absolutely should hear that.
Finally, coffee.
Yeah, you absolutely should hear that.
I thought you were out feeding your chickens.
What? No, me?
Yeah.
You heard the Gregorian chant earlier, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you should hear that.
No.
No.
Nobody hears.
No, we're not. We're not hearing nothing. Nope.
Nope.
No sound.
Boomer juice activate.
Boomer juice activate.
No, I just don't understand why it's not playing. Why you don't hear it? I mean, it's feeding through. One second, let me check my mic settings.
Comic book black belts. No sound. B.A. Turner, Vigilantes, Creed is live. Okay, good. B.A.
Yeah,
Turner.
it absolutely should be working.
Aye,
Playing
fee.
through.
All I see is a fee.
It's
Well, either
going
way,
through.
it's an interesting looking book.
Jackie Ning it more like. At least the subtitles. At least put the subtitles on. Yeah.
Well, there's no. It's just music.
It's just
Why
music.
aren't you hearing it?
I don't know. It's
I
not
don't
playing at all
understand.
right now. You're at
Yeah, I've got it
29
paused.
holding.
Yeah, I've got it paused.
Nothing.
You seriously don't hear that?
Seriously, don't hear it.
Nope. These things happen.
It does.
Looks good though. Anime-ish kind of style, fusion style.
Mm-hmm.
A clever title too. Witches Get Stitches. Did we lose the stream? You guys
Maybe.
there or just quiet? Just
No, I'm
you were
here.
leaning over and then
We're here.
rest
We're here. I just don't understand why the sound wasn't going through. That's going to be a problem because I've got a lot of trailers to shows today. I don't understand why. Because it's all there. It's all there.
Do you turn the sound on when you go to share it?
No, well, no. I'm running through a virtual sound desk.
Well, it might be your problem then.
Do we have
That's
any
not my
more
problem.
articles or anything we can take a look at? Maybe while you sort out the problems.
Well,
writing
we
the
can
article.
We can talk about the campaign.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, you can talk about the campaign.
I respect Ripa's hustle for sure, and it's cool to see a completely independent rival comics company making quality comics. Mileage may vary. He's still we don't have to get into that. I just wish him the best. Ripa.
Well, I'll read this then.
I can read it. You want to read it? Go ahead.
All right. Katara is a witch hunter rigorously trained from youth to detect and execute witches for the shoguns of the land. As he investigates Mother's ritualistic murder, the dark forces of a corrupt town enclose around him, marking him next. Will this hunt be his last? This standalone story is 100% done. It is 58 color pages of gorgeous art and mystical murder mystery. With art finished, we plan to run a fast campaign that prints and fulfills quickly so you get your book sooner than later. As a bonus, all physical purchases come with a free digital deluxe version. There will be 8-page bonus story by myself, Preston Asfiato. I can never pronounce her name. I always apologize. So 66 pages of stories total. With your help, we can make it a gorgeous book finally. I've already successfully fulfilled 2 books, and I'm ready to make this number 3. Let's hunt.
This is Arrow already makes quality comics. Yeah.
They already do, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We do our best.
Do you hear this?
Well, in the early 60s,
that I hear.
Digital Beam, Brazilian guitarist.
Then you should totally hear. Like it's literally the same feed. It's the same feed.
Don't know
why you didn't hear it.
Refresh
it's not
the
coming
page.
through. Refresh the page. Yeah.
I don't know. Like what was going on? I don't understand. Oh, it's crazy.
I just blame StreamYard.
You seriously don't hear that music?
No, it's not playing.
That's weird.
Oh,
yeah, it is.
For the love of God.
It's not playing at all. No sound.
Let's try this.
Quick fulfillment. How novel. Yeah.
Let's try it again. There we go. Let's try it again. So yes, that launched last night, so that's doing pretty good. You guys should check that out. Von Klaus has done quite a few things, been very successful.
I heard like an initial
still no sound, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a and And
Yeah,
then
and then it
after
just-
that, nothing. Yeah. Nothing. Maybe you
Maybe
need
it's
to
just
turn
a
it up.
volume issue. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, let me try lowering the volume. Maybe it just
I
peaks
mean-
it out and it says it stops.
Or the other opposite direction. Or raise it all the way up.
I don't know.
You
All
can
right.
have a Diet Coke or a Coca-Cola. That's what Mahatma Gandhi said. He said you could have Diet Coke, but why?
But why? You can actually
Why?
catch up with Second Chance Special. This is special for Fun My Comic only.
Coolie.
So you can check this out. $55. You can get Monsters MD and Terror in the Trenches.
Yeah.
I like how they add all that extra like character art and stuff in there.
Yeah. I love a good art book. So you can actually get an art book with that too. That launched last night. That's doing pretty good. Here's another one that launched last night. So we've got Omega Mission, God's Eye.
All right.
No video on this one. 8 backers so far. Just keep it all. This is from Don Edwards, or Don Draws, you might see on in some of the places. Don Edwards is doing this book. Really nice 90s style line work.
Yeah.
As you can see.
A cadre of interesting characters.
Yep.
What do you got there? You got like a Beast Man in the back. I don't know the name of your characters. I apologize. You got a Beast Man of some kind, and
His name is
Cyber
Brash, apparently. It looks like they have their names on there.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Scorn is back there in the corner. We got Physic, Cybershot.
Well, kind
over
of
here.
obvious.
Yeah, this big dude with
I just
the.
had that at the bar last night.
Her name's Bubbles.
Awesome.
Minx.
She's a Powerpuff Girl.
Yeah. Clipper Dodge. Skylark in the back there.
There we are.
And then Radfire. Very
Some
cool.
clever names, I guess.
Cool group of characters.
I've personally never been able to really do a fantastic job at coming up with superheroes or superhero names. That's why I stick with fantasy.
You just need a thesaurus.
Just need this. Yeah.
Yeah. I created a whole team in like less than an hour one time. But a guy needed a superhero project done. I just grabbed a thesaurus and knocked it right out.
I've only ever created 2 comic book
I like
characters.
this panel.
One was,
Yeah, that's nice. Go ahead. Sorry, Whiskey. I didn't mean to step on you.
Oh no, it's okay. It's not really important. Well, it's I had one character named the Quill, and it was just like a porcupine looking character. Another character named the One, which was like a more of like a group of organization. It was just of assassins that all had the same like hive mind. And then I had another character called Big Stick, which is just a big dude with a stick.
Did he walk softly?
No,
Okay.
just like a Hulk knockoff, I guess. That was like, it was like 14 at the time. Created them.
Yeah, there you go. Everybody's got that everybody into comics has characters like that when they're 14. Absolutely.
And that's why I stick with fantasy.
Codpiece. I'm just gonna make characters just
Let's
named
work.
Codpiece.
I like Skylark. These production drawings are hot. Those are really
like
cool.
this, yeah.
I like
This
the
is
way
neat.
that the roughness of it and everything's really, really good. Yeah.
It would be neat to have this. Like he needs to do an art book with this
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff in there, or put it at the back
Nice.
of the book.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he does. Absolutely.
Claws. Yeah, his little notes. What he's doing with it.
I'm really liking his pencil work a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Ink
nice.
on there.
Okay.
A little bit of
That's working.
Kirby Crackle there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mostly cybernetic.
It's kind of like I don't know, very similar to Jax from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
One character.
There's a lot of 90s image in this.
Yeah, there is.
Yep. Which is not a bad thing.
No.
I
That's
guess
how I
that's,
dressed for church. That's what I look like.
There you are.
No, I
Cane and
don't.
everything, right? Yeah.
Yep, cane and everything. Sunglasses. Yeah.
that's gonna be that's gonna look like me soon. Thinking about getting a cane myself.
Okay. I used one for a little bit.
This is neat.
So my physical therapist, I ended up going to PT one time without it. And the physical therapist said, well, don't use it again. You don't need it. If you got here without it, you don't need it. So Taiwan, that's hot. I like that. It's got, yeah, I like the highlights. Everything works on that. That's great.
Yeah.
Stupid strong. Crag. My rock dude. Gravelly. Some chunks of a larger rock. Very dumb.
I like it. Yeah.
Very
little
classic.
notes to self. Keep him stupid.
Some of these character designs are pretty elaborate. It must be difficult to draw them.
Yeah. Oh, he's got an image not loading.
Demonatrix. I like it. I like it a lot. It reminds me of the devil character from Legend, the Tim Curry character.
Yeah.
Because of the big headdress.
Guys, it's pretty easy to get involved with this. Jeez, dang it.
It's got some hot stuff here.
What the? Oh, it's because I've already.
There you go.
$10 for the Crack-a-Lacka tier.
Crack-a-Lacka.
Sadly, International Postage is effing brutal.
I think
on the wallet these days.
I think every campaign needs a Crack-a-Lacka tier from now on.
Yeah, I like it.
That's disclaimer. Awesome. That disclaimer is actually pretty clever.
Sadly, International Postage is effing brutal.
Effing brutal.
On the wallet these days, but people worldwide would be able to enjoy the awesomeness that is our comics. So our international fans can still read the comic in either PDF or CBR CBZ format. Nice, smart.
Very, very clever.
So one of the changes we're going to make is, you see how this is, when you hover over that changes color. Oh. We're actually going to do to where the border, there's a colored border, because this has got a border on it, right? It's gray, right?
You're not going to make it gold?
We're going to make the border probably black or gold. Maybe. And then what we're going to do is, what we want to do is when we hover over this, it animates. So it sparkles, like I think maybe like a gold shimmer or something would be neat.
Like a Twilight vampire.
Then the other thing we're going to do is when you hover over the shopping cart, how it just changes color ever so slightly. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to make a flame animation for it. And so the shopping cart is going to catch on fire when you hover over it.
Who are these characters? Yeah.
They're neat characters. You can also get it physical $25 plus shipping. Too cool for school tier. You'll receive the Omega Mission God's Eye comic with exclusive Fun My comic cover. This will never be released as an art print or made available anywhere else ever.
On the good ship Sparkle Magic.
Agent Zero wants to know if it's a BIPOC border. I'll be here all week.
Thank you. Agent Zero, you're fired.
I think it'd be cool with a
Agent Zero has been sacked.
We will give you a full list of sackings next week on Nerd Bacon.
Yeah. It's a new award we've got coming.
Yeah.
Sack award. Yeah. We've all been sacked.
Monty Python.
So I wanted to do something a little different today. We're not going to stream the full 3 hours, I don't think.
I don't know why the Fool is even up there anymore.
Yeah, well, because you can still get it.
You can still get it, but yeah.
Yeah, so why not?
Yeah. Okay.
I want people to check this book out. Go over there and pick this one up. 107 backers. We need to get more backers on this one. Only because it's important and only has 5 days left to go. So in 5 days, we're going to be closing this one down. We are we're killing it right now on this project. Let me do this. I can leave this over here. I'm going to move this one. I'm going to move that guy. I want to show off what I've been working on with this. Aaron Presti did that beautiful image there.
Look at that great cover. Exactly.
I need to hide this project. People don't need to see that one. That one is under wraps for a minute.
Oh, squirrel in the house?
Under wraps?
Yeah, I have a project that's under wraps.
Mummified?
That is not a joke. That is a natural fact.
I'm going to stop sharing that. Enjoy the bacon for a moment. I'll share my screen here.
You need to make your own sizzling sounds, though.
Yeah. Exactly.
There we go. This is next to the last 2 pages. The last page is a big splash. Not quite ready to show that one off yet.
So our story reaches its climax.
This is, we have a new character that we're encountering. Chrome Dog in this brutal battle. Oh, nobody likes the sucker punch. Nobody likes the sucker punch. Ooh, we're in back. Look at all that rain. And it's storming and it's lightning and all kinds of stuff. That's fun. I had so much fun drawing this. So he kicks him and he falls back. Lightning. This is really going to be all on Patrick on this panel there. Just brutal punching and fighting and slamming and smashing and overboard. Yep, so this is what we're working on. Sorry, Justin, if you didn't want me to show it off. But that's what we're working on. That's what I'm working on. Very exciting about that. Patrick just delivered a new page last night. Also very exciting. Very, very exciting. And so 5 days left. 5 days left to grab a hold of this project, which I think you should. You're not going to be disappointed in it. Justin did a good job on the script. We're putting extra effort in to make sure the art is exciting.
It looks
exciting
fun
for you. Yeah, it is a lot of fun. Here it is. Add to the string. There we go. Check that out. You can get the book, a really reasonably priced book too. So your digital in this is $5. It is 32 pages. And when we say 32 pages, I've drawn 32 pages. Like you get a full story. It's a full story. It's not like, 32 pages and 4 of them are pinups or something like that. Or, a extra story. It's 32 full pages. $15.
How much is, do you have a digital version there or no?
We do. $5.
$5, not
so. For the digital, yeah. You can get a physical copy for $15. You can take your pick between my cover or Aaron Lepresti's cover. If you have a choice, why not choose Aaron's? You can get both for $30. You can get the Arrow Bundle number 2 for $40, which also features Chrome Dog. And then you can get
the full second
and the full
second Revolt.
Second
Hero Bot Zero. Yeah.
Yep. And you can get Arrow Bundle number 1 for $50 on here, which is great. You can get both bundles for $90.
Yeah.
The Mega Bundle, not to be confused with the Maga Bundle. All right. So yeah, please check this one out. Back it before it closes. I want more people to get a hold of this book. It's I've had so much fun working on it. We'll try to watch the trailer. Do you hear that music?
No.
Why is this?
Barely. Barely.
No, I can
barely.
Hear it.
There it goes.
There you go. Louder. Louder, sir. Just there you go.
Load up.
It seems like it's fading in and out, hard to describe.
I don't know why.
Some kind of digital lag or something.
It's coming across in the tin can.
Yeah.
Might be my software I'm using. Who knows?
Well, better not.
Who knows? Yeah.
And I don't know. $5 isn't so bad for a digital version. I mean, I might back it, but
it's not bad at all.
a little bit on the fence. I can get maybe one book. I'm kind of earmarked.
A lot of people are into that, right? Yeah. Perfect 10 is one that is got a lot of people's attention right now.
Yeah.
That one's got 11 days to go on their 24 backers on this exclusive cover.
Can you remind me before that goes out, Luke?
I'll try to remind you.
If there's sound for that, I'm not hearing it.
It's very low.
There it goes.
Yeah, I don't hear anything. And then same problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I use a software called Loopback, and there was an update that this morning that popped up that I didn't install. So maybe that's part of the problem. Here's your FMC exclusive cover on that one. Exclusive on my comic. That's so awesome.
Is he selling the back issues in this one as well? I haven't looked at it in a while.
Perfect 10. There's a digital catch-up tier, and there is a physical catch-up tier.
There you
for
go.
cover A.
Yeah.
You can get a personal commission done for $200. $500 gets you the original art for cover C, done by Dan Dahl.
Makes me wonder if he would do a cover for the personal commission.
Maybe. Let's see.
$200 for
rearrange here. So something that you guys don't know, I don't talk about this much, but I have discontinued taking most of my pain medicine, my chronic back problem.
Good for you.
Yeah, just because I don't want to take it.
Well, it probably makes you groggy and slows you down.
No, it
There was
doesn't.
an article I read a long time ago.
How are you? How is your pain management then?
It sucks. It hurts, but that's why I move around a lot. Like now yeah, it doesn't feel good, but it's better than being dependent on drugs, I think.
That's true.
Kyle Rodricks will draw any comic book character you want, mainstream, indie, or your own. Your commission is penciled and inked on an 11 by 17-inch format and includes physically and digitally. This perk comes with signed edition of Perfect 10 number 4, all 3 variants, and the gorgeous and grotesque print. Art and books are shipped in 2 separate packages.
That sounds really kind of nice.
That's
especially
a very good value.
With the commission.
Look at that. That is a great image the palette drove. Very nice work.
Yeah.
Very nice work. Someone did a review of his book and said, all the women have huge boobs.
Was that a critique?
Is that a complaint?
Yeah.
Who's complaining about that?
It's an observation.
Some people are ridiculous.
Maybe that's all
they look natural. That's what matters. Yeah.
You're like,
Virtue Signal is still doing very good, and someone backed that and put that up there at the top.
Air 13L. Still kicking it. So's Hatch.
Yeah,
look at
still
that.
kicking it.
Hatch annotated.
Yeah. Hatch needs to get something else done here.
It does.
I'd play the trailer, but no one's hearing them right now. I understand why YouTube can be heard, but let me try this. Guys. I'm gonna go over to where my YouTube's at over here, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna play a trailer. I'm just gonna play it. You tell me if you can hear it. That's a weird sound.
We heard that.
Yeah, that's me. Can you hear this?
Yeah, barely.
You hear that?
Hatch is not your average
There you
cartoon
go.
character.
Yeah, it's good.
Far from it. Hatch lives on a remote asteroid far out in space and has no knowledge of anywhere else.
We're watching
His
Bacon.
day compounds bewilderment.
I know you
and
are. Hold on.
disbelief as his life unfolds before him. A life he marvels at, embraces, and is ultimately frustrated by, albeit in a comedic way. This 100-page, full-colour, annotated edition of Hatch not only boasts an in-depth interview with creator Glenn B. Fleming, as he takes us through the evolution of this lovable character, it also presents previously unseen original artwork from the Hatch archive. All this, along with the creator's annotation and anecdotes, make this book a must for the connoisseur of sequential art.
For some reason, it doesn't want to play both of my windows. It's open. I don't know what happened. I don't know why. All right. So there we go. I figured it out. Don't know why. This looks good. I really like this.
Hatch is
very
fun.
talented.
It's a great character. There's some great visuals here, and you're getting an annotated book with little notes by Glenn in there about the creation of the character.
There's so much that you can get here on this campaign.
Yeah.
You get the book, you can get the original comic in there, you can get original art, random original art sketch. I mean, for $30, that's not bad.
Those star fields that Glenn does are just fantastic.
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. So he definitely needs more backers. I don't know what you guys. I understand that like the holidays are coming up, so people are like, limited on funds, and so they have to be very picky about what they get. That is why I do like people including a digital version. Next week we're going to have Hojo on, and so Hojo's going to talk about his book.
There we
and
are.
What he's doing. 62 backers already. $2,800 he's raised on this thing.
Excellent.
In 11 days. Great work, man. 48 days still to go. We'll watch this trailer here in a second.
Great.
But as you see, he's got a PDF version of the book. And I think it's just a smart way to go. I really do. I mean, we're starting to see that change.
Mm-hmm.
It's a coming. I was always sorry. I'm interpreting the thing. Well, this sound's not working anyways. Yeah, I can't hear it, so I'll just talk over it. So what I'm
hear it?
No. So what I'm excited about for the future is can we hear it now? No. Nah, it's busted.
Yeah, it's still a little tin canny.
It's annoying me.
Anyways, what I was excited about the future, I don't know if this ever happened, but you ever seen those, like, you're watching like a sci-fi movie and they like pull up a newsprint paper and then it's all animated and moving around? That'd be kind of cool. If they could ever figure out how to cut the cost down to else like a flexible paper digital thing, that'd be kind of cool for a cover or something for like a one exclusive book.
Yeah, that would be pretty hot. Little moving thing. Been looking at the Watchmen motion comic. Been really impressed by it over on Max. I'm surprised there's not more of that kind of work being done. Some of that looks pretty simplistic, but it's a lot of fun. Just basic, almost like old style Flash animation.
I wish Pedro wasn't sick because he could hurt and injured because he would actually be. And by the way, Pedro, feel better.
And somebody just posted on Facebook a 6-hour marathon of the old 70s Marvel cartoons. Much more fun than the current MCU.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all, the animation on it is almost laughable, but it's still very enjoyable. And the stories are the original stories out of the comics. So it can be a lot of fun. But yeah, Mythicals looks great. Can't
really
wait
does.
for Hojo to be on next week. We'll talk about it more.
He's got some good influences too. Like he's similar to Buffy the Vampire Slayer in many ways. And I haven't checked out the books, but if I had the money, I would. Actually, I'd buy everybody's book if I had the money.
Oh, there's so much good stuff out there. You really, especially with the economy the way that it is, you have to be choosy.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You can't buy everybody's book, which you really want to.
Isn't that the case?
It is.
It's always the case.
I wonder actually how much, if you added up all the just say you got the entry tier on every single Find My Comic thing, if you added them all up, how much would it cost?
I don't know. It'd be a cost that'd be growing daily, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you there, Luke?
I think he's thinking.
Looks like he's frozen.
No, he's moving. He's just silent. Or was. Maybe he's not moving now. Luke, blink twice if you're okay.
Give us a wave. There you are. Not that finger. Anyway.
So this is the divine intervention. You could become a spiritual guru on your own, but you just have to tie your shoes, and you just have to know how to eat burritos backwards.
Talk about Halloween. That face is a face that only mother could love.
Turns out it's a deep fake. Yeah. Who knew? I thought it was
that
real
whole thing?
when I first seen it. What?
The whole thing's a deep fake?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They took an interview that he did. He was upset at the interview, and then they went through and goofed it all up. So changed it all around.
The Fool. There's another one I want to back as well.
Back it.
I know you. Yes.
Make the bird dance. This is the rodeo clown of justice, folks.
This will be what, like forever, right? So you just keep it up until the books are gone, I imagine.
Well, the books will never be gone. We're print on demand, but it is a story I'm particularly proud of. It's a great single issue story about a vigilante who's running around the city fighting crime with practical joke weapons, dressed in rags, and jokes. So, and the cops have been chasing after him. They've assigned 2 detectives that's their job now, or their assignment is to get this guy off the streets before he hurts himself or somebody. So. And he keeps running around, anybody he ties up for the cops or detains for the authorities, he takes a section of their clothing and incorporates it into his action duds. So the whole first story takes place in a little greasy spoon named Harvey's, where the 2 detectives are comparing notes because they've been given this job because they're the 2 there in the police department that's been the closest to him and have had experiences with him. And so they tell their stories and compare notes and try to figure out how to get this guy off the street.
Is there like I may not want to give away the book, but is there anything like villains or anything in the book or like main antagonists?
This issue, there's mostly street crime.
Mostly just street crime.
Yeah, okay. It's all street crime, a little bit of gang warfare going on. The two rival gangs in different streets bump into each other, and it ends up involving the cops and gets a little bloody.
Well, you talk about the cops, right? Trying to get them off the streets. Is there like a particular detective or something, like a Batman kind of character, stylish thing going on there?
What do you mean by that?
Like what's that Batman? Forgive me.
They've got one detective that's leading. It's a team of 2.
Okay.
There's Cole Beckner, who's who's really leading the 2 of them, and then Athena, who just became a detective. And her experience happened. She had already taken the detective's exam and is out on patrol when she ends up having direct contact with the Fool. Mm-hmm. And he breaks up a gang fight that she's caught in the middle of a bunch of wild gunfire. And she watches her partner get killed. And then the Fool comes in and basically cleans up both of the gangs using a trash can lid and a rubber chicken. and a paddle ball, and she's basically just stunned at this guy because she doesn't know. He's bouncing all over the place and just taking everybody out, and she's just staring, and then he comes up and she's threatened by one of the gang members with a shabby old gun looking thing, and Fool comes up with a trash can lid and smacks him right in the face, and then picks up the gun and shakes it, and the gun just falls apart in front of her.
He doesn't have any superpowers per se, right? He's just a dude.
Not that you know of. No.
Not that you know. Oh, yeah.
No,
Does he have
but
any
he
martial
does-
arts experience? Or
He does. Yeah, he's got uncanny skill. He's highly acrobatic, and he's got a dumb sense of luck. And when not in this issue, but I've got another story where a kid stops him on the street and asks him if he's a mutant and what his superpowers are, and he looks around both ways and leans over to the kids and whispers in his ear. He goes, "I've got the mutant power to sew," and then he goes bouncing, running off. But I've got a couple other issues worth of material with this character. I just wanted to get this one issue out in order to show everybody because I'm so proud of it. And the artwork for that was by Chris Tyson's great artist. Coloring's by Patrick, who's doing Chrome Dog right now. And Luke turned me on to Patrick's colors, and he did an excellent job. And Patrick's already colored another book for me that I'm really happy with, that I can't wait to show folks. I'm debating right now whether to run a campaign for a physical book or just to leave it as digital and have folks buy a PDF copy of it in order to see it. But I have something else here to show off as well. Here's a piece of artwork done by Russ Leach. This is a project that Russ and I are working on. Russ is doing all the heavy lifting. This is all Russ's art that adapts the very first sword and sorcery story. It's accepted as the very first American sword and sorcery story. It's by Robert E. Howard. It involves King Kull, and it's called The Shadow Kingdom. Here's an early page, completely inked, ready to go. And then I also have I have a picture, black and white, of the cover here. Let me pull that up.
Yeah, the cover's sick.
Right.
You guys, if you haven't seen this yet, folks, you'll love it.
That's all inked and ready to go as well. But it's called The Shadow Kingdom. We'll be running a campaign for that here shortly. Once the artwork gets a bit further along, I adapted the story as faithfully as possible from the Robert E. Howard story. It's at least 68 pages. The main story is going to be. I don't know how big the book's going to be. We've got a great Howard, a huge Howard fan that a lot of folks know that's going to do the foreword for the book. I'm going to do an afterword on the book. We're also talking about putting a copy of the actual prose story in the back of the book so that you can compare it. And it's like I said, it's as faithful. And I've looked at the other adaptions that they've did. I've been a big fan, just like Russ has been, of the sword and sorcery genre for years. And nobody's really faithfully adapted this story. And Howard is such a great writer. He can't talk highly enough about it. The story is great. There's shape-shifting lizard people. There's ghosts and monsters and all sorts of just, it's a great story. Can't wait for folks to read it. It's The Shadow Kingdom. You can sign up for notifications on it right now over at russleach.com.
Yeah, I've been watching you to make this stuff in the background and seeing behind the scenes, and
Russ is just knocking it right out of the park. And it's a very different style from his Only Death Can Save Us material. It's really beautiful. It's turning out incredibly well.
Yeah,
so we can't recommend it enough. And you see, Luke is gone right now, so we're going to have to.
He says he's coming back. He said, or I'm not sure.
We're gonna have to wing it a little bit here. So
speaking of winging it and art, I got something for you. You want to take a look here?
Well, give us a second here until we. There we are. Okay, let me blow you up there.
So this is from Driftwood, a comic I'm working on. It's based on the tabletop game Banner, Steed, and Lance, which I've had in development for several years now. Same universe, but set into the future. It's a story about necromancers and their evil empire, and I wanted to tell a story from an evil empire's perspective, because generally, where there is no good guy winning in this thing. It's got Renzo Rodriguez on the art, pencils and inks. I've been talking to Tavez for the colors, and I hired Aldris on the farm for Aldris for the for editing, and some of the 3D modeling and stuff that I do. Reference art for the stuff, and designing the world and universe. And then, like I say, I make miniatures and things like that. So I've been putting my 3D skills to use for Banner, Steed, and Lance, and designing the characters and stuff like that. This is one of the characters, Count Dantes, and sort of like the main antagonist of the main character of the piece. And let me just click this one up here. There.
Yeah, Russ says Perfect 10's a great handy name because the name it's not only the name of the book but also the review score. So
yeah.
And Hojo says, I want Glenn's wife to tell me bad news going forward. It's a soothing voice. Yeah.
I'm not sure. All I know him as Ancient Zero. All I know is him as Tavez. What's Luke recommended?
Edgar Tavitas.
That's the one.
Tavitas?
Yes. Yeah. You guys can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine. Technical difficulties. Oh.
Take a look at that. So that's the one of the other pages there.
I need to send you that art I did for the Fool, Randy. Yeah, it's your piece is in the book, Glenn. So
yeah,
just hang on to it, and when we see each other face to face, you can give it to me. Go ahead, Whiskey. Sorry to cut in.
Yeah, I was just saying,
back Chrome Dog. Get
Edgar, I've talked to him about colors. He's I haven't put him on the project yet because we're just waiting to get a couple more pages done before he starts coloring stuff. But
right,
yeah, we've been in talks, and Aldris just started editing, and like I said, Renzo Rodriguez on the art. I'm on the writing for it and designing the world, and it's interesting IP. It's still in development stages. I'm kind of partially writing as I go along, partially designing it. I'm doing sort of a quasi Marvel method where some of the script is written, some of it's an outline, some of it's as I go, and it makes it kind of difficult for Aldris, but he's fine with it, so we're trudging along.
Yeah, what's important is that he is as your artist.
So anyway, we're hoping to have Shadow Kingdom offered here in probably the first quarter or first half. Go ahead. Sorry, Luke. Didn't mean to step on you.
Oh no, you're fine.
Are you there?
Is it Aldous? Yeah. I apologize if I get people's names.
You can hear me, right?
Aldous.
I think it's
Aldous.
We
can hear you fine.
Aldous. Yeah. Did I get the name wrong?
I don't know how to. It's
Aldous.
Aldris on the farm. I don't know.
Aldous.
I think Aldous. He's a good dude, and he's editing. So
yeah,
you'll see his name on the book when
it's something. I am going to attempt. Okay. Let's look at this.
We already looked at that. We looked at that while you were gone. That's the cover for Shadow Kingdom. We're hoping to start the campaign for this in the first quarter of 2024.
I see boobles on there.
Do you really?
I do. I saw boobles. We're gonna try this again. We're gonna try this.
I got to be covered boobles.
6 days left to go on Bengali issue 3. We had Nick on.
They're covered boobles.
It is Aldous. Yeah. ALDOE.
Please tell me you can hear that.
Shakily. Yeah, you're good now.
Holy cow, that's loud.
It's going in and out.
Oh, we tried.
We did.
No idea. Ooh.
His Agent Zero, his rates there are pretty decent too. If you're gonna hire him, he seems like he knows what he's doing.
Here's a $5 digital copy and a $10 physical. Look at that, guys. You can get a book for $5 if you're buying digital today. You know, I've been thinking about, as we move forward, some, options for. I just don't want to reinvent the wheel, right? Like, what's the point on adding a subscription for digital if there's already a bunch of options out there that people can use. So I'm wondering if maybe we can't do a subscription for physicals.
Possibly.
Like for, every month, like we put together a collection of
What
5
happens,
books and send it to you.
What you'd have to vet every single creator, right, to make sure that they deliver all of their stuff on time. And
It would be something that we would stock in warehouse.
Yeah.
Like we would warehouse a certain number of books for each creator, and maybe we send that out. Maybe that would be part of the Iron Age distribution business model that we could produce some kind of subscription plan. But yeah, we're
if you did a digital subscription, right? If you went with a digital subscription and you put all of the PDFs of all the books into one, and then did like $30 a month or something like that, 35 a month or something, not too, but it gets all the books, and then it's divided up amongst all the artists that contribute, that decide to put their book in the digital thing, right? And then you do I don't know, maybe their back issues or something, and then I don't know, maybe that gets attention to other people's content.
Yeah, a lot of options there. A lot of options. So, look, this is so weird. My camera changed. I was not that close up on it.
Not before, no.
Yeah, I don't know. So StreamYard's acting weird for me. It's giving me problems. My audio's giving me problems. All kinds of stuff.
We're pretty close to the end now, anyways.
We are close to the end, and I am mega distracted by all of those things, and I've got tons of work to do. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you noticed, but I am drawing several books right now.
Tons of work.
And so we are going to close this thing down, guys, and we are going to get out there, and we are going to have a good time.
We always have a good time.
We're going to have a good time today. Yeah, we're going to have a good time today. I do have some more therapy today. I have to go back. The lung therapy is working. The respiratory therapy.
You think you'll be able to sing eventually?
He can sing
now.
now.
I think so. I can sing now, just not well.
Just remember,
it's good stuff.
Just remember, Tom Waits has a career.
I mean, Bruce Springsteen's got a career.
Yeah.
Frederick. Yeah, there we go. Speaking of Frederick. Guamant.
Thanks for stopping in.
Thanks for stopping in, guys.
Yeah.
Remember, leave the wood pile higher than you find it. Build up more than you tear down. And by all means, my friends, please, won't you be careful out there?
And we're all pulling for you.
Yeah.
Let's be careful out there. Let's be careful out there. We had a 187 at the 7-Eleven on the corner of 4th and Main. 2 Caucasians of the male persuasion put a bullet through the cashier's brain. Moving on, I see a 211, half a dozen 459, 2 AEWs, a DTA, and several miscellaneous fines. Homicide, arson,